It's time for High School Football, presented by TISD and Cox Communications of Tyler. Brought to you by Dairy Queen and Supercuts. Also brought to you by these sponsors. Get ready, high school football is just ahead.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let it go.
The new DQ Latte frozen blended coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
Men, I think our racing team needs to reflect our Supercut sponsorship. So, make some changes. First off, we're going to go to clear helmets so racing fans can see your fine Supercut hair.
Those are made out of glass.
Y'all be careful. Second, uniform change.
How are we supposed to drive? There's no armholes.
Haven't figured that one out yet, but we're working on it.
Man, I'm out of here.
Fellas,
You're out of your mind. That's not
where you going?
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Can you drive a stick?
Assistant drum majors are Ryan Kelly and Mondale Anahuac. Flag captains are Diana Dudley, Sarah Cooper, and Jennifer Phoenix. The color guard is directed by Casey Hawthorne. Our Rotary League Red River Band has had a very successful marching season, earning straight runs in UIL contests and finalists in the Carrollton Home Champion. Congratulations on these outstanding awards. Now listen to the sound of the Red River Band. Following the musical talent of our band is the Southern Borough Prom Squad. This squad has nearly 120 members and is under the leadership of Kelly Cherry. They've decorated their spirit trailers to cheer on the Raiders as they say, "Swat the Skeeter." Some of our cars in tonight's parade are provided by Kelso Nissan Pontiac Mitsubishi and Crown Motor Company. Thank you to Kelso and Crown. Now please join me in welcoming last year's 2003 Homecoming Queen and King, both back to help us celebrate this occasion. Miss Ruby Washington and Mr. Nick Redwine. Nick is currently a redshirt freshman playing football for the University of Texas Longhorns. Following our reigning king and queen is the Honorable Prime Minister of Raiderland, our own Mr. Rick McDaniel, Principal of Robert E. Lee. With Mr. McDaniel is Dr. Karen Rainey. We are proud to announce our Robert E. Lee Student Senate Executive Officers for 2004 and 2005. They are Jennifer Smoke, President, Elena Miller, Vice President, Ben Satterwhite, Secretary, and Brittany Tomlinson, Treasurer. These officers have given their outstanding leadership and traveled many miles to bring about this year's Around the World Homecoming Dance, held tomorrow night in the K-Gym at 8 p.m. Now, it gives us great pleasure to introduce our finalists for the 2004 Homecoming Queen and King. Henry Carter, and Josh Hill. Standing in for Josh is Hillary's father, Dr. Bruce Carter. Next is Elena Miller and Ben Satterwhite. Our next two finalists are Jennifer Smoke and Tyrone Ross. Standing in for Tyrone is Jennifer's father, Mr. David Smoke. Also, David Smoke will not be playing running back tonight. Our next finalists in the yellow convertible, Brittany Tomlinson and Elroy Gregory. Our final two finalists in the silver beetle, Courtney Tomlinson and Wade Arnold. One more round of applause for all of our 2004 homecoming finalists. And now begins our parade of float. The senior class float represents the continents of Asia, land of mystery and intrigue. Beautiful pagodas cover the landscape of these countries, while pandas feast on bamboo and remote areas of China. Mount Fuji towers over Japan, and the costumes are bright and colorful. Asia is known for all of its mystique and beauty, as well as its scary movies of terror. Oh no, I think it's Godzilla. The class of 2005 welcomes you to Asia. Senior class officers are Kate Sigmund, President, Stephanie Jones, Vice President, Courtney Tomlinson, Secretary, and Ryan Bell, Treasurer. Their sponsors are Nanette Anderson, Angie Billings, and Nisa Miller. The class of 2005 would like to thank their members from Mesquite, Courtney Tomlinson, Tommy Richmond, and Ken Sigmund. Ken made a real sacrifice for the parade. He had an unfortunate fall off of the float today. Ken, our thoughts and prayers are with you. The Art Club would like to welcome you to Arctica, land of ice bowls, penguins, mountains, and igloos. Art Club officers are Adrian Nalbone, President, Jack Pitts, Vice President, Morgan McKinney, Secretary, Kelsey Fry, Historian, and Alex York, Reporter. This club is sponsored by Ms. Keno and Ms. East. The Art Club would like to thank their donors, Mr. and Mrs. Fry and Mr. and Mrs. Nalbone. Next, we travel to South America with the Junior Class Student Senate. Traveling in South America, we find ourselves deep in the jungle. Leading the way for us are Junior Class officers, Catherine Adams, President, Nick Skane, Vice President, Rachel Morris, Secretary, and Mauricia Davis, Treasurer. The class of 2006 is sponsored by Annette Allen, Patty Tyler Smith, and Kelly Uzel. Many thanks to the officers, parents, for their support and donation. Our journey continues on to the continent of Europe, hosted by the Sophomore Senate. This float highlights the many famous and familiar landmarks of Europe, including the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the French Cafe, a Dutch windmill, London's Big Ben, and Paris's Eiffel Tower. Alongside their float is a double-decker bus from Great Britain. Members of the class of 2007 represent a British Malascar, a French artist, a Spanish bullfighter, the Queen of England, a Spanish flamenco dancer, a Swiss mountain climber, and a Venetian gondola driver. The sophomore class is led by Aaron Wesson, President, Shay Strong, Vice President, Robin Bell, Secretary, and Callie Van Busker, Treasurer. The proud sponsors of this group are Kyla Buckley, Melinda Denson, and Susan Coffin. The REL Science Club sends us on a whirlwind tour of discovery with their float, Scientists from Around the World. Starting on the right, we have Sir Isaac Newton from England, who discovered the laws of gravity. Next, we have Ben Franklin from right here in the USA, who discovered electricity with his handy kite. Then, Gregor Mendel from Austria, who is the father of modern genetics, famous for his experiments with bees. Our next scientist is Dmitry Mendeleev from Russia, who arranged the elements into a table, calling it the periodic table of elements. From Poland, we have Marie Curie, who worked with radioactivity, and last but not least, Albert Einstein from Germany, who discovered the theory of general relativity. Leading the Science Club are Justin Parrish, President, Morgan Harris, Vice President, Rabia Capre, Treasurer, and Chantal Hall, Secretary. Sponsors are Wiley McCauley and Leslie Breeden. The Science Club would like to thank Dr. Dwayne Peace for the use of his trailer, Ken Elson for furnishing the truck and for driving, and all the Science Club members who donated their time for this project. From the world of science to the land of Africa with the freshman class. Watch out for those lions and tigers and bears, oh my. These kings and queens of the class of 2008 are part of the safari in the jungles of Africa. Leading the pack are Mallory Cook, President, Sarah Narrowbone, Vice President, Paige Pickens, Treasurer, and Grace Williams, Secretary. Proud sponsors are Christy Hood and Rebecca Shelton. The Freshman Senate would like to thank the Gwynns, the Browns, and the Pickens families, along with Sherwin-Williams Paint, Hughes Platform, and Double Dave's Pizza Works. Our next organization is new to Robert E. Lee, Criminal Justice Students Association, proud to present Scotland Yard. This new association at Robert E. Lee is proud to present their float, And if you're interested in criminal justice or just want to see what we're all about, CJSA meets every Thursday in A136. The 2004-2005 officers are President Cassie Coverly, Vice President Haley Morton, Secretary Jonathan Vasquez, and Treasurer Aubrey Barney. The Criminal Justice Association is sponsored by Talia Hogan. Now, let's hear it for the world-renowned Robert E. Lee varsity cheerleaders and cheer guards. This spirited team includes Anna Brawley, Hillary Carter, Demetria Daniel, Caitlin Kerr, Elena Miller, Christina Nasser, Larkin Proctor, Liz Gilbert, Katie Goffner, Rebecca Hassel, Jenny Jones, Allie Mason, Emily McDonald, Chelsea Weaver, and Jenna Yoder. Cheer guard members are Alex Brawley, Heather Brown, Ryan Cornelius, Andrew Mason, Zach Neal, and Ryan Steele. Their spirited sponsors are Shelley Taylor and Nisa Miller. Winding down our travels around the world, we are guided home by our sophomore children. They are Tanisha Culver, Melissa Holly, Jamie Hutchins, Megan Kennedy, Ashley Mims, Crystal Phillips, Abby Rocket, Lindsay Savell, Libby Schneider, Caitlin Spires, Rachel Staples, and Catherine Wiley. Way to go, girls! And last, but certainly not least, we are greeted by the lead gentlemen. They are led by officers Miles Hampton, Blake Robertson, and Jeremy Stone. Thank you, lead gentlemen, for all you do to support Robert E. Lee. The lead gentlemen would like to thank Shelley Taylor and Lisa Miller for all of their help. And now, if you will direct your attention to the center of the field, the moment we have all been waiting for, the announcement of the 2004 Homecoming King and Queen. Making presentations to the King and Queen will be our 2003 Homecoming King and Queen, Ruby Washington and Nick Redwine. Our special thanks to Michelle's Flowers by Ela for our presentation roses. The 2004 Robert E. Lee Homecoming King is Mr. Tyrone Ross. Tyrone is with the team preparing for tonight's game and will receive his royal sash at a later time. The 2004 Robert E. Lee Homecoming Queen is Miss Jennifer Smoke. Jennifer is being escorted tonight by her father, Mr. David Smoke. Congratulations, Tyrone and Jennifer, and congratulations to all of our students, the world's greatest students. Thank you to Robert E. Lee parents, fans, and supporters. Welcome back to our Red Raider alumni, and happy homecoming to all. Go Red Raiders!
The daily download on Fuse. It's a countdown and free online music. But it's a long day if you're waiting for dial-up. Get Cox high-speed internet and go to Cox.net. Enter the Get Your Daily Download sweepstakes. Win a trip backstage with the host at Fuse's New York studio, or you can win a TV PC package. Activate Cox high-speed internet service and you'll get a cool Fuse watch. The Daily Download on Fuse, weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Download your favorite songs in seconds with Cox high-speed internet. Go to Cox.net and order today.
To see this sign on your house, put this sign out front. Century 21 Advantage. Call or visit our website.
I'm joined here in the press box. Craig Smoke will join us from the sidelines in a moment. Randy Johnson here with us. Producer Justin Breaker. Engineer is Mike LaRue. And Kerry Ainsworth joins us as well. Guys, this is a football team in Lee that has not been really emotional during the season. They have taken care of business. I would love to see tonight a team that is jacked up beyond recognition. Not to the point where they lose focus, Randy, but a team that comes out. Because Mesquite, when I was down there during the homecoming stuff, this is the team. They're talking a little bit. They're ready to go.
Well, Mesquite did that a few weeks ago against Longview. They were jumping up on the sidelines the entire first quarter and stayed in the game that long against Longview. Lee's going to have to do the same thing, too. What you look for tonight, of course, what Lee's done most of the whole season, with the exception of last week, is get off to a fast start.
Kerry?
Well, Lee needs their seniors to step up and show some leadership. Not that they're not showing leadership, but they need a whole lot more of it.
And back with the kickoff in 2 minutes.
Car shopping can be stressful. With all the clutter out there, it's hard to tell what to buy. But at Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center, we believe that the simplest way is the best way. So we offer a large selection of quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, priced to sell with no hassles. Each vehicle has been through a 20-point inspection for quality assurance. You can shop in comfort under the awnings and check out our newly expanded lot with more inventory than ever before. Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center on the corner of Glenwood and Vine and Tyler.
Man, are we going to take every lap full speed? Yeah! Are we going to trade paint without fear? Yeah! Are we going to brush our hair 100 times a day and condition after every shampoo and choose the right hair color to match our skin tone? Tim?
Terry, I'm an autumn.
I'm a spring. Now let's go out there and win one!
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
And here we are at midfield as the captains introduce each other. Lee with their red uniforms, white numbers, and Mesquite with the white jerseys. The maroon tops with the big M on the side and the maroon numbers.
We'll go ahead and do it again. Okay. You have won the toss. What do you like to do? You want the football. Which way do you want to kick? You're going to kick from the clock, as we agreed earlier. Okay, guys? You being the captains of your team, let's have good sportsmanship. Let's let our helmets do our talking. You'll put your back to the clock when you turn around here.
66, Gabriel Lacey. 68, Bobby
Robert E. Lee has won the toss, and they have elected to receive to start this game.
Number 86, D'Angelo Jones.
And this one's going to have some intensity, folks. Let's check in with Craig, who is on the sideline. And Craig, you've been to a couple of those Mesquite games at Texas Stadium, the one 2 years ago here, and this is a team that is a very similar non-district opponent for a long time that kind of reminds you of the East Texas 5As, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, they could have fit in very well with the Lufkins and Longviews the past few years, and I remember the classic battles in the playoffs with guys like Shannon Spurlock for Lee and also Marco Martin from Mesquite, who's now at the University of Texas. And waiting for the coin toss, waiting for the players to go to the 50-yard line, you could really sense some just everybody real jacked up about this game. I mean, something special in the air here, so it should be a good battle.
Thank you, Craig. We appreciate your report from the sideline. And again, with Lee starting with the ball, the senior quarterback is Josh Hill. He has thrown for just over 1,000 yards this year, 2,222 yards in his career, 19 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Up front, left tackle to right tackle, Saron Black, 6'5", 321, left tackle, has committed to play at LSU. Sam Banks, the left guard, 5'9", 235 senior. The center, Blake Larman, 5'10", 230 senior. Blake Culp, right guard, 6'1", 273 senior. His brother's at TCU playing football there. And Matt Holland, the right tackle, back in the lineup, 6'1", 271 senior. John Giles, the tight end, 6'1", 190 junior. Running backs, the fullback, Peyton Price, who this year has 7 touchdowns, and Tyrone Ross, who over his career has nearly 3,900 yards rushing, 4,600 yards in total offense. Here comes the kickoff from Mesquite, very high, kind of a pooch kick that might go out of bounds, and it does. It's good, going to give Lee pretty good field position, as that thing kind of wobbled out of bounds. And a good job by Robert E. Lee not to try to catch it there and be patient. Wide receivers, Walter Simpson and Tony Bush. Simpson has 16 catches, 3 scores this year. Bush has 14 catches and 2 scores and a 97-yard kickoff return. And also we'll see the big hammer, Jason Williams, who has rushed for 4 touchdowns and caught the 70-yarder. Now the penalty has been refused by Lee, or has been taken by Lee, and they want them to kick it off again. So Robert E. Lee back deep, Jason Williams and Tony Bush. The up men are Peyton Price and Lance Heap. Lance has gotten a couple of starts in a row at safety, and we'll watch the lead defense because Eric Ejiki, a tough loss for this team, the senior safety, maybe a Division I guy. He is out for the rest of the year with torn tendons in his ankle, suffered in the game last week against John Tyler. Here comes the kickoff again from Ortiz. It's a line drive kick, and Lee has it bounce off the chest of a player. They pick it up at the 20, at the 30, and that's Lance Heap, and he will get out near the 35-yard line, and that's where Robert E. Lee will take over at their 35-yard line. There's a flag on the field now on the far side and near side, and Mesquite may have just started this game, Randy, with back-to-back penalties on the kicking game, and I'm sure Lee will take that again.
Well, they probably will, and it appears they're offsides from where the flag is situated near the 38-yard line on the far side of the field.
Well, if you take it the first time and force them to go back 5 yards, you would think they would do it again, but they're bringing the quarterback, Josh Hill, in the game to start this series for Robert E. Lee. So Leo Ortiz, the kicker for Mesquite, the first one goes out of bounds. The second one is an offsides call against the Skeeters, who wear the white, kind of a Texas A&M look. And Robert E. Lee, of course, with their red uniforms, the white numbers, black trim, the red hats, and the big T in black on the side of their helmets. Andy Dunklin's already been pretty busy. Tyler Fleet, by the way, starts off at a tight end position. He's just a sophomore, but has 5 catches, 59 yards already in his first couple of weeks in the varsity roster. Lee will stack it on the far side. Lone setback is Peyton Price at their 39-yard line. They run the fullback up the gut. Peyton Price does not get much, keeps churning, and he will get a tough 2 or 3 yards as they faked it to Tyrone around the end, and Peyton Price gets about 3 out to the 42-yard line, second down.
What Lee's attempting to do is just bunch one side of the field, kind of disguising their formation, and all they do is simply quick bunt play to their fullback, but he just does a great job of churning forward. And he's tackled also on the play by Stephen Keel, the linebacker.
And he's a great one, 5'10", 235, the senior, built like a fire hydrant. Up front for Mesquite, Claiborne, Pierce, Taylor, and Malone. Linebackers, Ewo and Keel. The corners are Jackson and Thompson. Towns, Nesbitt are the strong-type safety bandits, and the free safety, Donovan Plummer. Here's a pass to Peyton Price. He drops it. He was wide open for at least 25, maybe more, on a seam pattern, and he had it go a little bit behind him that time, and Josh Hill had all day to throw it, and Peyton Price had a lot of yards and maybe more, but he dropped it at the Mesquite 35-yard line. It's 3rd and long.
Well, in his defense, the pass was a little bit behind him as he has to reach back across his body to try to make the catch, but the offensive line give them credit on the play for protecting the quarterback and giving him ample time to
which they're going to have to do. When Lee has played teams is pretty much equal to them. They've had some problems with the pass protection, and again, Peyton that time had to turn and was not able to make the grab. 2 receivers, Bush and John Williams near side. Giles, the tight end, this way as well, and Josh will throw again. Plenty of time. Going deep, Simpson takes the pattern and runs a sideline, and Lee will go 3 and out to start this game, and not a very good or crisp start. And I tell you what, very rarely has this team not scored on their opening possession, and they go 3 and out here.
Well, it may be one of the first times all season that they haven't scored on their initial possession. There was just some miscommunication on the play with the quarterback throwing the ball on a fly pattern deep down the sideline, and Simpson pulled up short on the route.
Well, they had that same route last week, and Simpson pulled up and went to the sideline, and Darrell Towns, a safety, is back deep, the 5'7", 195 senior, to field the punt. Josh Hill averaging 42.8 yards per punt. Gets it off, turns it over, line drive kick. Towns lets it hit, goes inside the 15, down inside the Mesquite 10, and down by Tony Bush and 33, George Faber. Here's the Mesquite offense. 51-yard punt from Josh Hill, no return. Quarterback is Dre Johnson. He has saved this team after the injury to Reggie Fish. He has run for 8 touchdowns, thrown for 1. Stephen Harper's run for 504 yards and 4 touchdowns, the tailback. Wide receivers, a bunch of them. Antonio Brown, look for him, number 19, 30 catches, over 10 yards a catch, and a 57-yarder long. He will split far side, 4 receivers set. Stephen Harper, the lone setback, with Johnson, the quarterback. They run the quarterback draw. He bounces outside Cole Skates, but doesn't get much out to about the 10. Skates was there, then Heap. Then DeHaven wrapped him up for a gain of about 3. He's a very strong 5'10", 175 senior quarterback. Up front, Brandon Roberts and Mubarak Mahogany, Seth Swaggerty, the center, Anthony Luna, and Josh Bracken from tackle to tackle.
Well, they run almost a zone read where he has the option to hand off to his running back, Harper. He keeps it instead and comes back to the near side. 3 Red Raiders there to bottle him up.
So Mesquite at their 10-yard line, 2nd down and 7. Again, the spread, 4 receivers set. Lee brings the blitz. Johnson throws, pass caught at about the 14. A short, safe pattern. Micah Johnson was out there, and I think that is Nick Helton, number 11, who made the catch that time for Mesquite for a gain of 4, but a very short, safe pattern. It brings up 3rd down and 2.
They'll try to control the ball, too, by throwing those little 5-yard curls in and out, and the receiver runs a good crisp route, and Johnson hits him right at the knees as he goes to the ground.
So it's 3rd and 2. Mesquite at the 15 trying to give themselves some good field position. Johnson, the quarterback, in the shotgun. They run the zone read, and he got a 1st down outside the 15 to near the 20, and he almost busted that. Dominique Van Zant makes the stop. Lee was after Dre Johnson, and Stephen Harper picks up a 1st down out to the 20-yard line, a gain of 5, and it's 1st down Skeeters.
Well, just a great job of blocking up front, really. Lee had a good push up front, but Swaggerty, the center, and the left guard, Mubarak Mahogany, with a great push-up block to open a little bit of a hole for Harper in the 1st down.
Got to be a tremendous confidence builder for the Skeeters offense as they want to take the ball and eat the clock. Helton in the slot far side, same for formation. Johnson, short toss, had that thing come out of his hands, and apparently Dunklin now signals incomplete pass as he tried to pump it and was going to go to Antonio Brown, but the ball comes out of the hands of Dre Johnson. It's a very humid night. There's supposed to be a cold front, if you want to call that, in Texas coming sometime soon, and it's incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
Oh, we need that indeed. Well, what he does there, he just loses grasp of the football as he's going to throw it out into the right flat. Lee get a little bit of pressure up front, too, as well to help push him along.
1st quarter, no score. Mesquite's 1st possession. Lee went 3 and out. Lee started theirs at the 39 and got nothing out of it. 2nd down and 10. Johnson shotgun runs the option near side, keeps it, and a great job by Warren DeHaven, who came in, sliced through the Mesquite offensive line to make a stop of a loss of close to 4 yards in the play, back to the 16-yard line, and Lance Heap is there also to make the stop. Here is the defense for Lee. Sherfield and Mumphrey, the defensive ends. Jacoby McKenzie, the tackle. Skates, DeHaven, and Van Zant, the linebackers. Jason Stripling and Nick Mitchell and Takarian Cuba and Lance Heap all rotated in and out at safety. Wet Nicholson and Micah Johnson are the corners. 3rd and let's say 13. Dre Johnson sends a man Young in motion, far side left hash mark. Here comes Johnson, back to throw. Sets up, now pressured. Going deep, has a man over the head of Micah Johnson. I thought he picked it off for a second. The light got in my eyes. And a nice job by Jacoby McKenzie to put pressure on Dre Johnson. Great coverage, Micah Johnson on their stud receiver, Antonio Brown.
Well, Jacoby McKenzie made the last play, too, as he fought by the guard, but he just puts that last little bit of pressure, forcing Dre Johnson to throw the ball split second or two before he wanted to, disrupting the timing on the pass, and Micah Johnson had a better beat at the ball anyway.
So Mesquite's defense does their job, 3 and out. Lee's defense gives up a 1st down, but they keep good field position here. Tony Bush back at midfield, the punter for Mesquite back inside his 5, that is Ortiz. Here's the snap, he gets it off. Nice high lazy punt. Bush will catch it at the 48 of Mesquite, turn the corner, gets a block 45, down the sideline, 35, 30, 25, and steps out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Craig Smoke saw a tremendous block down on the sideline.
Oh, an absolutely incredible hit by Jason Stripling right on the sideline. The defender from Mesquite didn't see him coming, and Tony Bush with his speed, and along with that block, was able to get about 10 extra yards.
28-yard punt by Ortiz. Thank you, Craig. 18-yard return, and Lee has great field position at the 27-yard line of Mesquite with 8:07 to go in the opening quarter. And Josh Hill, the quarterback, will bring the explosive Red Raiders offense back in the field. They go offset I with Tyrone, the deep back, and they run him up the middle, breaks a tackle, 30, almost got loose, knocked down at the 23-yard line. That's a great tackle by Rory Malone. Otherwise, he is gone. And also Donovan Plummer, Saron Black with a nice block and a gain of about 4.
What a nice hole to open up on the right side. I'll give credit to Culp and Holland on the right side for just pushing out and opening the door for the tailback, Ross.
Simpson far side, second down, give T.Y. 4 yards on the play. He goes far side. In the slot, left side on the wing, it is Jason Williams. Here's Josh, wingback counter, that's T.Y., and he gets outside 20, 15, gets a block at the 10, down inside the 10. He almost got a block, but Walter Simpson made a very nice decision, Randy. Black and Banks, by the way, the seal blocks inside, but that time Walter didn't make a block, otherwise it would have cost him 10. Great job, first down at the 8.
Yeah, he's right in front of the side official far in the far corner, and what he didn't want to do is have that play called right back, and T.Y. follows in behind him and tries to go outside instead of cutting inside at the hashes and heads outside for a nice gainer.
So they gave Mesquite a look without T.Y. really the first series. They've got a good taste of him here. He's inside the 10, 7:14 to go, opening quarter, left hash mark. This is T.Y. on the stretch, bounces it outside, tries to turn the corner at the 10, down close to the 5, and that's a nice tackle by the safety coming up. Jamarte Jackson along with Stephen Kill, the senior linebacker. T.Y. gets down to the 5, and it's a gain of 3, and it's second down and goal.
Well, their defensive end, Rory Malone, pushes the play outside just a little bit and not allowing the lead blockers to get out on their pull blocks. But Ross, with his great speed, cuts the corner anyway, and he's brought down at the 5.
Mike Owens told me this week that they had to be able to get around the corners. They didn't get that against JT most of the game, and they finally had to bust one up the middle with Peyton, and it kind of from that point on was a blowout. From the 5, straight I formation. This is Josh. Up the gut to Peyton Price, and they do a pretty good job, but he does nudge down inside the 5 to about the 3. That's Jason Williams, excuse me. And big Jason the Hammer down inside about the 3-yard line. Blake Larman to block early, and here's a huge play early for both Mesquite's defense and the Lee offense at the 2.5.
With the Mesquite defense led by Matt Pierce and Quentin Taylor bunched up the line of scrimmage, and just a nifty job by Williams to get what he did.
So third down and goal, Robert E. Lee, midway through the first quarter with no score, full house backfield. Josh, Tyrone, hit at about the 2. He gets close, but not inside, and he's not going to get much of a mark. On the near side, it's the 2. On the far side, they give him the Robertson, gives him the ball at about the 1, and we'll just see who wins the battle of the spot. And they get a bunch of folks from Mesquite. We're down there, and this brings up a huge decision early for Mike Owens. Fourth down and goal, and it's a good, solid yard. 5:33 to go, and Darrell Towns, the safety, makes a big play. Simpson far side. Do they go behind Saron Black and Sam Banks? Full house backfield from the 1. Larman, T.Y. outside, there's a flag. Procedure against Robert E. Lee and a pre-snap penalty. And this is going to cost him what looked like a touchdown, although the whistle had blown, and Mesquite had stopped the pursuit of the play. And now you got to settle for a field goal, you would think, right here from the 6-yard line. Boy, the pre-snap penalties, that came from the umpire. And instead of a possible touchdown, they bring the kicker in, and that is Cole Skates, and that's a huge stop from the Mesquite defense. They've held this explosive Lee offense now so far out of the end zone.
Well, it's what execution gets you for Lee, and they were just not able to get it. You had a little movement along the front, and it cost them the 5, a huge penalty against the Red Raiders.
5-yard procedure call. Cole Skates, in his career, 14 of 16 field goals. Preston Hill, the backup quarterback, takes the snap. Here's the kick. It is up, and he drilled it. 5:16 to go, first quarter. Our score, Robert E. Lee 3, Mesquite nothing. We're back in 60 seconds on News Talk 600 KTBB.
Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Represent your team like never before. On the field, on the court, it's all in our store. The spirit of your team, the season of your dreams. Looking for the victory, we've got what you need. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics.
In the game of life, there are no timeouts, only time wasted. The path you choose now determines your future. But where can you go to find a sense of purpose? There is a place where team spirit steps off the field and into the classroom, where no victory goes unnoticed, and there's no such thing as wasted time. That place is Tyler Junior College, living life in color, never black and white. Come to Tyler Junior College. We're changing the game. We're changing lives.
Back at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium in Tyler, Robert E. Lee 3, Mesquite nothing, 5:16 to go, first quarter.
The scoring summary for Robert E. Lee: 6 plays, 21 yards, and 251, with Cole Skates doing the honors on the field goal from 23 yards out.
But remember now, Lee had the ball inside the Mesquite 40-yard line to start that drive and had the ball at the 1-foot line, basically, and settled for 3. Here comes Micah Johnson, the soccer player, also the cornerback, kicking off for Robert E. Lee. Line drive very deep, and it sends Mesquite back into the end zone and through the back line in the blue and white John Tyler end zone. And Mesquite will start at the 20-yard line. That's Walter Nesbitt, is a defensive back from Mesquite, who's one of the return men. And Robert E. Lee defensively, again, it's Sherfield and Mumphrey, the defensive ends. James Wilson not suited up tonight, said he's out for a week. McKenzie, the defensive tackle, but we'll also see a lot of Gabriel Lacey, Bobby Osborne, and Nick McLean. Mesquite Skeeters started off 0-5, and they've now won 3 straight. Lee with a lot of people bouncing around. Zach Emmons, the quarterback, and he runs the wingback reverse to Harper, and he's got yardage outside the 25 and broke 2 tackles to get to the 27. Micah Johnson was there. They will not be against changing up the quarterback. Zach Emmons will come in to run it. They've got Johnson as the better athlete, and Cody Langford will come in at times and throw the ball as well. And a gain of 7 for Stephen Harper.
And what matters most to Mesquite is they can run several different multiple looks and throw that back at you, and that was a nice misdirection run for the tailback.
Trevor Reed is checked in at linebacker on the near side for Robert E. Lee on the weak side. This is Harper, and a great job. Somebody nudged underneath, and that was Cordero Mumphrey, and Lance Eapen a loss of a yard.
Had help as well, right straight from the middle of the Lee defense. Gabriel Lacey in the game hit him up high, and Cordero Mumphrey hit him low and twirled him down for a little or no gain.
When I talked to Steve Halpin this week, I got the feeling that they were going to try to see what they could do at times in the spread, but they thought that they could try to pound it at Lee like the good old days when they ran the bone. Now they kind of go inverted bone here, double tight set, and actually unbalanced far side, reverse to Harper, outside, and he is close to a first down, but no. Jason Stripling does a great job along with Cole Skates to turn that thing out, and he got maybe 2 and brings up 4th down and 2 for the Skeeters.
Lee's athleticism trails the play out, strings it out. He had a Harper, that is, with a few juke moves. He couldn't get around number 17, and then here comes number 2, Skates, to finish him off with help with Stripling.
Back deep, Leo Ortiz to punt. Tony Bush sets it about his 35. He had a very nice return the last time. Watch for a fake here. Snap to Ortiz. Pressure from Skates. He gets it off. High, wobbly punt. Hits Micah Johnson, and the ball does come loose, and now it's just a matter of who wants it more, and Mesquite has recovered at the Lee 32-yard line. Craig Smoke may have a better angle.
Yeah, Tony Bush knew he wasn't going to be able to catch that in the air. He let it bounce, and Micah Johnson, who was back there trying to block for him, didn't see the ball, and it hit off his shin, and so therefore you had the fumble recovery by Mesquite.
The back judge, Jay Organ, making the call, and that time again Tony tried to get away from it. It was a short punt, and it went off of Micah's leg. And now they're going to give the ball back to Lee. And I'm not sure exactly what the call. Steve Halpin definitely wants an explanation from the referee, Andy Dunklin, who's talking to Gene Robertson, who's the head linesman. Now, there may have been a decision that may have hit a Mesquite player first, and if that is the case, then they cannot recover a fumble. It's a dead ball. You can pick it up and run with it if you're Robert E. Lee, but that might be a dead ball call if it, in fact, hit Mesquite first and then hit off a Robert E. Lee player. Steve Halpin's not going to believe in that, but that's his job to argue with it, and he doesn't like the call immediately.
Well, Micah Johnson's fighting with the defender coming down the field, straight down the middle of the field. Suddenly, Bush gets out of the way of the attempted reception of receiving the punt. He backs off, and the ball does glance off number 24 for Lee, and it probably hit the defender that he was wrestling down the field with as well.
So Robert E. Lee, and they have had some problems the last couple of years. 2 different times on fielding punts, both against Lufkin. And there, boy, I tell you what, you got to wonder how that jacks up the Mesquite defense to the sideline, and now Lee's got to take advantage of what may be a gift here. First down at their 33. They run the stretch. T.Y. cuts it inside 35. Blocked downfield. Williams 40. Midfield and knocked out of bounds. At the 47-yard line of Mesquite, Peyton Price with a great lead block that time, and also Thompson, Jacoby Thompson, the cornerback, at a gain of 20 for T.Y.
Well, the pulling guards from the far side, that being Banks, does a great job of blocking initially at the line of scrimmage, and then T.Y. just hits that hole very quickly, and then he had both of his backs along with him, heading the way with Williams and Price blocking in front of him.
Tyrone now with 4 carries, 41 yards, approaching 1,000 for the season. Split receiver, T.Y. right hash mark. Up the middle, Peyton Price, nothing there. That's the middle linebacker. I guarantee you number 10's in there somewhere, and he is. Stephen Keel, 5'10", 235 senior, makes the stop.
Well, he's a stump, too, and he just comes right down at the feet of Peyton Price. He reads the quick blast play or the misdirection right at him, and he fights off the block of the center and is there to meet him.
2:52 to go, opening quarter. It's 3-0 Robert E. Lee. Lee at the Mesquite 47-yard line, and they have a second down and 10. They will bring Tony Bush near side, Andrew Bailey the center now, and offset eye behind Josh Hill. Here's play action. Here's the blitz. They got a screen set up. They throw it to Peyton, 40. Down close to the 39-yard line. He took a shot from Thompson and also from the safety Jackson, or the cornerback Jackson, Jamarte, but Josh Hill does a tremendous job to somehow find him, and a gain of 7 yards, give him 8. It's 3rd down and 2.
Well, I tell you what, he had DeMarcus Claiborne and Matt Pierce breathing down his throat and throws it out into the flat, and Price does a great job of alertly catching his quarterback and having to run back for his life, and sets him up for the reception.
He was very patient, and there were a couple of skeeters in the area. Need some of that off. 3rd and 2. Up the middle, Peyton Price, nothing there. And it looked like motion to me. It looked to me like Robert E. Lee jumped again, and they did not get the first down, and it's going to be 4th and 1, and they're not getting much push up front. Big 93, DeMarcus Claiborne, 6'2", 240-pound senior, led the way, and Lee will, let's look at it here on 4th down and a yard, probably go for it.
Well, Mesquite does a great job at interior. They're not real large. Well, 6 foot to 230 across their front, but they're
very athletic.
Real athletic, very quick to the football, and they're able to knock Price down on 2 consecutive plays that net 0 yards.
If that means that they're watching Peyton in the middle, which has been a big play for Lee, that might be why Tyrone has had some room. Here's Giles, tight end near side, double tight set, T.Y. the lone setback. Josh Hill, quarterback keeper, nudges forward, and I think he has a first down at the 37-yard line, and all of a sudden Lee just needed the 37, and here comes the mark at the 35, and it's a first down, and a very smart play by Josh Hill just to take it and get down like a mole underneath all the big offensive line.
And just get his legs churning, and that's what he does. It's a quick snap, too, which is another thing that does not allow the defense to get set, and Lee pushes forward in a big first down on the 4th down attempt.
So Robert E. Lee with 1:25 to go. Thought this would be a defensive struggle. So far it has been that way. Bailey the center. Peyton Price offset eye. T.Y. is the deep back right tackle. Squeezes for a couple, breaks a tackle, and gets in the secondary, and may have a first down. He has had some great runs, Randy, in his career, but those are the kind you remember because he was stopped for no gain. He picked up 13 yards.
Well, he just is balled up at the line of scrimmage. Once again, it appears now Mesquite has 8 men in the box. They're going to dare Lee to throw the football. I don't know why they would do that, but they're doing it right now. And all he does is churn. He keeps his legs moving the whole time, and he's able to break free in a touchdown-saving tackle from Walter Nesbitt along the corner.
Tyrone Ross now has 5 carries, 54 yards. He's averaging 10 yards of pop offset eye at the 22. Josh, here comes play action, gets a block, rolls to his right, steps up, in trouble, now throws it away, incomplete, over the head of the defensive back, and that is Darrell Towns, who was all over Peyton Price. As they came to the near side, not much room for error, and Josh escaped danger. Elvis Ewell was that time on the blitz, and a pretty decent job by T.Y. initially, but he just didn't have enough time because too many white jerseys in his face.
Well, as is their want, Lee likes to run the screenplay, and they're looking to the near side again to run it to Peyton Price, and Josh does a great job of getting outside the tackles after the blitz is coming after him and throwing the ball out of everyone's reach.
John Williams blitz near side, offset eye, and it's Jason Williams on the wing. This is the wingback reverse. Jason Williams, nothing there. Darrell Towns ate him up, and he may have maybe gotten back to the line of scrimmage. and the misdirection between the tackles not working for Robert E. Lee early in this game with under a minute to go in the first quarter. And this brings up something this Red Raiders team doesn't see much of, Randy. 3rd down and let's say 9.5 from about the 22.
Well, they're daring him to throw the football, and Lee hasn't really thrown the ball downfield. When they've had miscommunication on their attempt.
That's exactly right.
And they're throwing the screen passes. They're going to have to throw the ball outside to Simpson here or down over the middle of the field.
Simpson's a great route runner. He's on the far side. Williams in the slot. T.Y. is the lone setback, and here comes Josh to throw it. Sideline pass. Bush incomplete at about the 7. And again, timing was off there. And again, Lee may have to settle for a field goal attempt, which would be about 40 yards. Cole Skates has the leg to do that. So we've had the pass that was to Peyton Price that was behind Peyton on the seam pattern down the sideline. Then Walter cut off a pattern and Josh went deep. And that time it was a pretty good pattern, but Josh just kind of mistimed it just a little bit to the outside. And they are going to go for it here on 4th down, and let's just go ahead and say 10 from the Mesquite 22-yard line. Shotgun for Josh. Here comes the blitz. They run a little play to Peyton Price. He's close to a 1st down. He's got it. And I think defensive offsides as well. They ran the shuttle pass to the fullback. We have not seen that in a long time, Randy. Darrell Towns was trying to blitz, and now we got to check the flag from the referee, which is Andy Dunklin. And it should be a 1st down and a gain of what could be 12 yards on a great call.
It was a splendid call, and they could have run the option outside to T.Y. as well, but they run it back inside to their fullback, and that's what the call is.
And that goes down
That's
as
huge.
a passing yardage. So Peyton Price has 2 catches for 20 yards, and you start to look at his overall yardage this year. 149 yards receiving, 2 scores, 616 yards rushing, and 5 scores. He scored twice against John Tyner. That ends the first quarter. Maybe that gets the crowd jacked up. 3-0 Robert E. Lee at the end of 1. We're back in 30 seconds on News Talk 600 KTBB.
Here's a question. If you needed your insurance, who would you call? Not the name of the company, but the name of the person. You've got 2 seconds. Coming up blank, you may want to consider Allstate. You'd have a local agent you can count on, a licensed professional whose name you know, not just a number. You deserve a relationship with a real person.
For all your insurance needs, call the McIntyre Insurance Agency in the Albertson Shopping Center.
Education is a priority in Tyler. With new growth and increasing student enrollment, the Tyler Independent School District studied the condition of its facilities. Focusing on the most critical needs first, the district's Board of Trustees voted unanimously to call for a bond election for a portion of these needs. The election affecting the children of Tyler is November 2nd. Visit www.tylerisd.org and click on Bond 2004 or call 903-262-1064.
We start the second quarter. It is Robert E. Lee 3, Mesquite nothing. Lee driving after converting on a 4th down and basically 10 yards at the Mesquite Skeeters 22-yard line. A little shuttle pass to Peyton Price, who won, Randy. You get in kind of a hurry. You got to make sure you first catch it. He had to break a couple of tackles and keep moving forward because he obviously had Mesquite fooled. That is a new call. We have not seen that play from Lee, and I don't know if we've seen it in a long time, if ever.
That's a nice wrinkle they run, and give credit to Saron Black and Sam Banks for pushing back the interior of the line to open a little bit of a doorway there for Josh to either make the pitch or make the pitch forward or outside.
Craig Smoke on the sideline.
Yeah, just a note, I spoke to one of the officials about that fumble punt earlier, and what happened was the referee actually pointed the wrong way when he was talking about who recovered it, so there goes the confusion right there.
Well, the ball may have been recovered initially by Lee, then it squirted out and Mesquite recovered, so apparently they said when he recovered it, there may have been contact that forced it to be a dead ball. I don't know. 1st and goal, Lee at the 10. 2 tight ends set. Josh, T.Y., play action, rolls near side. Now far side, excuse me. Now throws in the end zone and intercepted in the back of the end zone. Boy, Josh should have run with the football. He had about 6 or 7 yards. That pass was picked off by Jacoby Thompson in the back end of the end zone. He was out of bounds, but boy, I tell you what, Josh could have taken off for 5 or 6 yards.
Well, it was a definite foolery along the front because he had the play sold one way and he went back to the right side to the far corner of the field. And indeed, David, you're right. He had 5 or 6 yards in front of him with at least a positive gain. And he throws the ball in a bit of a crowd and is fortunate that it's picked off out of the end zone.
Yeah, that's a great play by the, again, the corner, Jacoby Thompson. They've got some big corners, Jamarte Jackson and Thompson. So now 2nd down and 10. Simpson near side. Giles is the H-back. Offset I. Josh play action pass. Rolls to the near side. Throws. Pass caught by Fleet at about the 7. Nothing but 2 or 3 yards there. Jamarte Jackson and Lee is not being able to get the ball downfield as Mesquite's defense very solid. John Giles appeared to break open early in that pattern, but it's now 3rd and goal from the 7. And boy, Lee's got to be careful to settle for field goals when they've had great field position.
Well, this will be their 5th third down of the game, David, and they're 0 for 4 thus far on third down conversions. They've had to convert 2 4th downs and as well kick a field goal on 4th down.
Bush Simpson split each side. Bush far side, left hash, 3rd and goal from the 7. 2 setbacks in front of Josh. High snap. They fake the draw. T.Y. outside at the 5, and he will go in standing up. Touchdown. That was the Statue of Liberty. They fake the draw to Peyton. Behind the back, a little magician poker from the Lee offense with both Dalwin and Gary Fleet involved, and Robert Lee converts on 3rd and goal.
And number 43, Darrell Towns, a linebacker, bit on the fake and hit Price at the knees, but he didn't have the football, and a nice block around the right side from Sam Banks, opening the door for his Fleet number 5, the speedster Tyron Ross, to get that touchdown in the end zone.
And John Giles occupied somebody downfield as they thought he might have been a receiver on that play. Here's the snap from Giles to Preston Hill. Snap, hold, skate, kick. It is good. Our score. 11:08 to go, first half. Robert E. Lee 10, Mesquite nothing. Back in 60 seconds from Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium in Tyler on KTBB.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Mulate. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let it go.
The new DQ Mulate frozen blended coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
Hi, I'm Angie Billings. I have taught at Lee for 11 years. I teach English, and you're watching TISD football on Cox.
11:08 to go, first half at homecoming night. Robert E. Lee that time does take advantage of great field position, but a huge 4th down call keeps the drive alive, and it's up 10-0 now.
Robert E. Lee, David, 12 plays, 67 yards, and they take 4:14 off the clock. And a beautiful bit of execution right at critical times during the drive, with Tyron Ross topping it off with a 7-yard touchdown run.
Kicking off Micah Johnson, back deep Walter Nesbitt and Stephen Harper. Harper's their tailback. And here's Micah Johnson from the east side of the end zone. Kicks off, line drive kick, and it's Harper at the goal line. At the 5, 10, Lance Heap gets in the way, bounces outside, 15-20, breaks a tackle. Very nice coverage, though, for Robert E. Lee. It strung him out to the far side, and Lee's going to win a race to the sideline. He does get to the 25. Nick Mitchell was there, and in the pregame, one of the few players for Lee that was really kind of dancing around and getting jacked up, and Nick, of course, has been hurt the last 2 or 3 weeks, but been playing with pain. Nick loves to get around and dance around and try to get the rest of the team excited. And here come the Skeeters on offense, and they go back to Dre Johnson in the shotgun. 4 receivers set. From his 25-yard line, Stripling dances around, fakes the blitz. They throw the pass, caught Antonio Brown, and hit it to 30 for a gain of 5. That's a long throw, very impressive throw. Stripling there on the stop along with Cuba and, of course, Micah Johnson.
Well, it can be very dangerous, too. If the cornerback gets in front of the receiver, it could be 60 the other way, but just a great bit of execution from Mesquite as the quarterback does show a nice arm, throws it high enough where the receiver, Thompson, can make the catch and only one to do so.
Well, and again, they want to get Brown involved early in this offense if they can, and so far he had been held in check, but he gets 5. 2nd down and 5 again. This time trip set far side, right hash, snap, Johnson runs the quarterback draw, has close to a first down, and he is a load, folks. He gets 6 yards, maybe 7. Dominique Van Zant and Warren DeHaven were there along with Gabriel Lacey, but he had some momentum, and once he breaks the initial line of scrimmage, he has got some strong legs and a first down.
He comes in at 5'10", 175. He looks bigger than that.
Yeah,
He's got to be 6 foot, 175, and long and lean, and they fake almost a zone read play, once again, fake to the tailback.
Mike Owens was scared to death of watching him on film, kind of reminded him of that quarterback at Naaman Forest, maybe not quite as quick from a year ago. Johnson back to throw, pressure over the middle, intercepted to Carrion Cuba, his first varsity start at the 10, 5, welcome Welcome to the starting lineup. To carry in Cuba. Touchdown, Robert E. Lee. And nobody's happier right now than his buddy Eric Ajiki.
He picks the ball off. David reads the play beautifully. Johnson throws it up above, over the top of his receiver's head. He picks it off at the 44, and he goes almost unscathed down the far sideline for the touchdown for Lee.
Carry in Cuba. You talk about welcome to the starting lineup. They will miss Eric Ajiki, but that's the kind of talent the sophomore has as he goes 44 yards, touchdown. And Randy, that looked pretty big time.
Well, it did, and he's a big-time player, even as a 16-year-old sophomore, and made it look easy, reading the quarterback all the way.
And the guy who got a key block is now set to kick the extra point. Here is Skate, and it is good, and just like that. Robert E. Lee 17, Mesquite nothing. We're back in 60 seconds on KTBB.
To see this sign on your house, put this sign out front. Century 21 Advantage. Call or visit our website. Car shopping can be stressful. With all the clutter out there, it's hard to tell what to buy. But at Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center, we believe that the simplest way is the best way. So we offer a large selection of quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, priced to sell with no hassles. Each vehicle has been through a 20-point inspection for quality assurance. You can shop in comfort under the awnings and check out our newly expanded lot with more inventory than ever before. Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center on the corner of Glenwood and Vine and Tyler.
9:54 to go in the second quarter, and Robert E. Lee has exploded with a 7-yard touchdown on 3rd and goal from Tyrone Ross, and a big-time sophomore to carry in Cuba goes 44 yards the other way. It's 17-0.
He makes a big-time play and reads the quarterback and anticipates so nicely, stepping in front of the intended receiver to make the pick as the pass was slightly underthrown, and he gets help down the sideline from Skates making a key block. And Lee's looking pretty good right now defensively.
Well, they really are, and they're playing with tremendous enthusiasm. Johnson, line drive kick, Towns at the 20, 25, not much there at about the 30, great coverage. And I'll tell you what, that kind of touchdown can be contagious for the secondary. Adrian Beard, a part of the student senate at Robert E. Lee, makes the stop at the 30-yard line. Jason Stripling ran back the fumble return against Longview. Dominique Van Zandt almost got one in the first game, but that time to carry in Cuba goes the distance for Robert E. Lee.
And he had an alleyway, too. After he picked it off, he headed right towards it, but he had to have a key block or two to do so, and he did a great job.
Johnson back in at quarterback. Here's the snap, runs the quarterback draw, and gets outside 30, 40. Crack from behind that time as Lee got a hold of the back of his jersey, and Ricky Sherfield saves a big-time play, 20 yards on the run, and that was the kind of run that will make you a defensive coordinator, Randy Huffstickler, look for an Nexium to get a little heartburn out of his system.
He backs off and waits for his line to make a key block or two, and the guard, Mahogany, makes a great block on DeHaven, opening the door for the quarterback to run through, and he picks up and gets in the Lee secondary.
Matt Uzel's checked in at linebackers. They go 4 linebackers here if you really count Stripling at that position. Shotgun at the midfield. Johnson wants to throw again over the middle. Pass incomplete, intended for the receiver Helton. Cuba was there again, and so was Jason Stripling, and somebody was in the face of the quarterback. I think that was Ricky Sherfield at 2nd down and 10.
But just enough pressure on him to disrupt the timing.
In his face,
and,
exactly.
And the receiver's running a slant pattern right off of the hash mark, but he overleads him just a little bit because he's had to rush the pass, and Lee does a good job to disrupt on that play.
9:18 to go, first half, 17-0 Lee. 4 receivers set, both to each side. Shotgun Johnson runs the quarterback draw, and again he has about 10-15 yards. Now checked at about 13, and he gets a first down, and that looks like Eric Crouch in the Nebraska offense's Heisman Trophy year.
And he's running right off his left guard. Lee will have to make a nice adjustment here in the second quarter at halftime to combat that play, because they're going to go to it more and more often if they can find an opening. Give credit up front to Swaggerty, the center, and Mahogany, the guard, for opening a nice hole.
9 minutes to go, and this is a great-looking drive from Mesquite after the shocking interception return, and they've come back. Johnson shotgun. He's had runs now of 20 and 13 on this drive alone. Now Lee looks like they're going to bring somebody. Johnson wants to throw. He's pressured. Does he get away? Yes, he does. Gets a good block. Throws the fade pattern incomplete. And you know who's in the area? Takarian Cuba. But Jacoby McKenzie forces him out of the pocket and forces a bad throw. It is now third down and 10.
Well, Johnson had thoughts of running that far outside, staying in the pocket, but McKenzie just does a great job of flushing him back to the near side, and McKenzie gets hit hard by the tackle that's blocking him. Josh Bracken to save the quarterback from being sacked, and all he does is throws the ball away harmless.
2nd down and 10. They had the incompletion, then the 13-yard quarterback draw. He's in the shotgun again at the Lee 38-yard line. Lee bouncing around. He runs the quarterback draw. This time tries to get outside, and he's into the secondary again. 25, first down. And Lee is waiting for him instead of attacking him. Takarian Cuba with another stop that time, but a gain of 15 yards. And when they come at him, yes, you leave some gaps in some areas, but it looks like when they wait for him, he has big yardage.
Well, he shows great vision, too. He's running into a bit of a pilot to his left side, cuts back across the grain, and finds an opening, and as you mentioned, Lee's waiting for him. They need to come after him.
Yeah, they explode into the gaps, if you will, and it's a first down. Again, you might leave him open if you miss a tackle, but you're missing tackles anyway. At the Lee 23-yard line now. In motion, Helton. This time it's Harper. Looked like he moved early. They don't call it. Draw play. He has 5. He has 10. He's going to score. That was way too early. It looked like Harper may have moved early to me, the tailback, but Dunklin didn't catch it. 23 yards, touchdown Mesquite, and they have an impressive rally after the touchdown by Takarian Cuba. It is now 17-6. Robert E. Lee's lead is down to 11.
And he finds a big hole once again to their left-hand side of their line where Brandon Roberts and Mubarak Mahogany just push back and get a great push and a nice hole opened up.
And that brings back memories of Jaworski Lane right there. And again, Lee has struggled this year with people pounding the ball. And if you see Mesquite throw it again, it's a mistake the rest of this game with the way they had that drive go. Here's Ortiz. Extra point is good. And just like that, 8:11 to go first half. Robert E. Lee 17, Mesquite 7, back in 60 seconds.
I am the king of home entertainment, or the Archduke at least, because I have Cox Digital Cable. Cox has more high-def choices than ever before, and nearly all the high-def programming is free. How cool is that? Cox has great movies and sports programming in high def, plus an interactive program guide that helps you find what you want, when you want, all with no equipment to buy or long-term contract required. You just can't get all that with satellite.
Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Represent your team like never before. On the field, on the court, it's all in our store. The spirit of your team, the season of your dreams. Looking for the victory, we've got what you need. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics.
17-7, Mesquite now down 10, and Ortiz is on to kick off for the Skeeters.
6 plays, 70 yards, and 138 for the Mesquite Skeeters, with Harper, the tailback, taking it in from 23 yards out.
Greg Smoke.
Yeah, Takarian Cuba had the touchdown in the prior defensive drive. Over on the sidelines, looks like Weldon Thompson is stretching out what probably is a hamstring, a cramp in the back of his legs. But Eric Ajiki mentioned earlier, no one was probably happier for Cuba than him. He's over there, got down on a knee as hard as it was for him with crutches, and is looking over his teammate.
Here's the kickoff return. Lance Heap does a nice job. Hold on to the football outside the 35 as they try to strip it away from him. And Cuba playing on every down now defensively. And also, again, because of the Ajiki injury with the ankle injury. I hate to bring this up, but I have to because it's a trend, Randy. They had Lufkin down 13, let them loose. Had Trinity down 9, let them loose. Had Longview down 14, let them loose. And that was a big, big drive and answer for Mesquite that time as they just ran the ball right down Lee's throat.
Very impressively, too.
First down lead, nice field position at the 38, east side of the field. This is T.Y. outside stretch, turns the corner, 40, cuts it to 50, into Mesquite territory, and 17 yards for the senior Tyrone Ross, and he got a nice block downfield from Walter Simpson. Tony Bush was there as well, and so was Giles.
When he had a block at the get-go, from the left tackle. Of course, that's the human island. Saron Black just motors down and puts number 10 Keel on his keister, and it opened the door for Ross to get out to the corner, which he does almost every time he runs a stretch play.
Tyrone, 7 carries, 78 yards. He is 24 yards away from his third consecutive 1,000-yard season. He's the lone setback here at the Mesquite 45. Josh throwing deep. He's got a man that is Williams, who's open. He beats the secondary. Does he score? Yes! 45 yards, and young men up front, Black and Banks and Larman and Culp and Holland, and Jason Williams comes right out of the backfield, and Josh Hill, very patient, and what a catch. That's the second long touchdown reception for Jason Williams this year.
Oh, and he laid it up right where only Williams could catch it, but give credit to the offensive line as they protected Josh just long enough to keep the big guys from the other side of the defenders from getting to him, and he sets it up, and Josh Williams beats not one but two Mesquite defenders to the end zone.
Jason Williams. His brother's Josh is a linebacker.
Freudian slip.
Here comes Cole Skates with another extra point attempt. Snap, hold, Hill, kick is up, and he got it. 7:32 in a game of big plays, and Lee's made most of them so far. They answer the bell. 24-7 Red Raiders on KTBB.
In the game of life, there are no timeouts, only time wasted. The path you choose now determines your future. But where can you go to find a sense of purpose? There is a place where team spirit steps off the field and into the classroom, where no victory goes unnoticed, and there's no such thing as wasted time. That place is Tyler Junior College, living life in color, never black and white. Come to Tyler Junior College. We're changing the game. We're changing lives.
I'm Aura Taylor, and I've been with TISD for more than 3 decades, and you're watching TISD football on Cox Communications.
Back at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium in Tyler, Craig Smoke noticed something on that play.
Yeah, Jason Williams had the touchdown pass. Initially, when he was coming out of the backfield to run his route, he was knocked down, but he didn't give up there. He got up, ran his route, got wide open, and scored the touchdown for the offense.
That's a great look right there. Kerry Ainsworth also got a look at that as well. Micah Johnson with a kickoff, and it's Harper from the 2. 5, 10, 15, and then kind of a just big old scrum at about the 22-yard line. Randy?
Robert E. Lee answers the call, and quickly, too. In 2 plays, they go 62 yards, actually 63 yards in 31 seconds, and the touchdown pass from Josh Hill to Jason Williams, and they answer very quickly, and that's just what you need to do. But the defense now has to catch their breath quickly, too, and make stops against Mesquite.
Here's something that you haven't seen in a long time. Remember now, Preston Hill, big factor last year at quarterback, has played a little wide receiver this year. He is now in its safety for Cuba, who has the cramps right now. 1st and 10 at the 22, Johnson in the shotgun. They run Harper. Here he goes again. 25, 30, first down, 35, and this looks like Vince Young right now against Texas Tech in a gain of 13 yards.
Well, what he looks like to me is when Waco always had success against Lee, running either with their tailback or their quarterback in past years. He looks very similar, just a great fake, and he's able to roll out the far side, running behind that left side of his line. Once again, they do a great job of pushing out, making great blocks.
1st and 10. Don't forget this game rebroadcast Monday and Wednesday at 7 o'clock on Cox Communications, either channels 18 or 62. Johnson in the shotgun, getting pretty comfortable with that quarterback draw and that zone read. Pressure backside, hit as he throws, incomplete. Cole Skates drilled him. And Cole playing with a broken hand, and you see that club at his right hand. And he was a half second early. He would have forced a fumble. Great job by Cole coming from the weak side, and Antonio Brown, the intended receiver, never had a chance.
Well, great pressure also from the inside with Ricky Sherfield, as he's there to meet the quarterback as well, coming straight at him, but from behind, nowhere to see the blitzing number 2 Skates to hit him from the backside.
Ryan Kindred far side this time. 4 receivers set left hash, 2nd and 10. Lee King with somebody there. They run that quarterback draw. That time they came after him. Strickland, I think, at the bottom of the pile. Cordero Mumphrey initially. Dominique Van Zandt, Martell's younger brother, who's at Oklahoma State. He was there as well, and a bunch of others. It's 3rd down and 7. 6:40 to go. First half, 24-7, Robert E. Lee.
Robert E. Lee just converges and uses that swarming defense that at times can be just smothering. They find the fake. It doesn't work too well that time, and they're able to bottle up the quarterback and the fullback in front of them.
3rd and 7. Remember, Johnson showed up on campus like in August. Pretty good Christmas gift early. Here comes a receiver split near side in motion. Shotgun, Johnson rolls near side. Looks for a sideline receiver. Now throws, caught, first down Brown. That's a very nice, patient route. And that time he got away from Preston Hill and he got a first down and a gain of 8 to keep the drive alive. With 6:07 to go, Micah Johnson was there, but a first down throw from Dre Johnson.
Well, number 19, Brown, just follows his quarterback and stays with him, runs his route in a very, very disciplined fashion, is there to make the catch as his quarterback rolls near side to find it.
Dusty Rhodes Marine, our KTBB Scholastic All-Stars players of the game for JT and Lee football. So far for Lee this year, Tyrone Ross and Jason Stripling, Peyton Price, and John Giles. At the 46-yard line, Mesquite with the football. Johnson runs the quarterback option. Oh, he got 40, and he's got another first down. Nice hit that time from Preston Hill, who delivers a blow, but this guy is as good a quarterback that I've seen in a long time running that option. Kind of reminds you of Terrence Parks, but even better, faster, 13 yards. Randy, he now has runs of 7, 20, 13, 15, 13, and 13 yards.
He's very smooth, and he just follows home. Great vision as well, and does a great job on the fake. And Skates did the right thing by taking the tailback, too.
From the lead 41, Mesquite. Quarterback, this time Harper keeps it down to the 3. Cole Skates was there to get on the back that time of Harper, who has 4 touchdowns rushing, 2 receiving. He's a 180-pound senior. Lacey was there as well to kind of force a pile, but it brings up 2nd down and 7.
Well, almost as if, you mentioned Vince Young earlier, but that's more of a zone read. He's able to either hand the ball off or keep it himself, and at times they call the play straight up to run the football with their tailback, and other times he makes the decision to pull it out and take it off.
4 yards in the carry, 2nd down and 6, and they're pounding that lead defensive front 7. Johnson, shotgun, snap. Harper, nothing there. Jason Stripling kind of got fed up with it right there. Along at the bottom of the pile, Lacey along with 44 DeHaven. Big number 66, Gabriel Lacey. That was a position. Remember, Randy, there were concerns. McKenzie, Lacey, Osborne, and McLean rotate quite a bit.
Well, Lacey, what he does there is just fights off the center, who's quite a bit shorter in stature, although he's well bit at 5'7", 225, and Seth Swaggerty, but he just beats him off the pile and hits the fullback right as soon as he gets the ball.
Taylor Tobias, the far side receiver. In the slot, Robbins, shotgun, 3rd and 7. Here is Johnson. He will not get back to the line of scrimmage as Cordero Mumphrey, who celebrated a birthday last week with a big performance against John Tyler, stops him for a loss of about a yard, and now Mesquite, you would think, in 4-down territory.
Well, Lee had several bodies there to also follow the pitch man, where 2 ought to take off after him, and just a great job of reading the quarterback for number 19, Mumphrey, and making the stop.
Let's get up and yell. It's not a library. 4th down and 8. 4 receivers set. Johnson in the shotgun at the Lee 38. Takes the snap. Looks for Brown. Throwing deep. He's open. Caught it. Touchdown. He beat Micah Johnson. Preston Hill tried to get over to swat it away. And on 4th down, 38-yard touchdown pass. Dre Johnson to Antonio Brown, who was wide open for the score.
Well, backside help was going to come over from the safety. That's Preston Hill. He reacts a little late, makes a valiant dive to knock the ball away, but he can't quite reach it. And Brown is 2 yards behind him to make the catch and dance on in the end zone for the Mesquite Skeeters TD.
Not sure if that was a cover 2 where he released the receiver to the safety or not. And again, Cuba not in the game, but Preston made a nice effort. But that's a huge drive, and Mesquite has answered the last 2 Lee scores. Here's the snap, here's the kick, and it's no good, or is it? No, that thing looked like
a wounded duck.
Wedge.
A wounded duck.
3:58 to go. First half. Mesquite scores again, though, folks. 24-13. We've got a shootout at Rose Stadium in Tyler.
Here's a question. If you needed your insurance, who would you call? Not the name of the company, but the name of the person. You've got 2 seconds. Coming up blank, you may want to consider Allstate. You'd have a local agent you can count on, a licensed professional whose name you know, not just a number. You deserve a relationship with a real person.
For all your insurance needs, call the McIntyre Insurance Agency in the Albertson Shopping Center.
Education is a priority in Tyler. With new growth and increasing student enrollment, the Tyler Independent School District studied the condition of its facilities. Focusing on the most critical needs first, the district's Board of Trustees voted unanimously to call for a bond election for a portion of these needs. The election affecting the children of Tyler is November 2nd. Visit www.tylerisd.org and click on Bond 2004 or call 903-262-1064.
3:58 to go in the first half. 24-13. Robert E. Lee has had a 17-point lead, cut to 10, and now a 17-point lead is now 11. Here's Ortiz with a kickoff, and Tony Bush catches it at the 15, bobbles it, now picks it back up and will try to get loose, and he is not yet down. He gets to about the 26. Got to be careful. Looked like he got spun around there, and nice job by Mesquite on the coverage. Craig Smoke, an update injury-wise on Takari and Cuba, who is not in on that drive.
Yeah, it turns out not to be Krantz for Cuba. He actually took a hard hit to the thigh, and it actually caused a little bit of a contusion, so he's got a sore thigh right now, but he should be fine. They're trying to stretch it out and get him back in the game.
All right.
And the Skeeters go 9 plays, 78 yards, and 325, and the touchdown pass, Antonio Brown on the reception from Dre Johnson.
3:50 to go, first half. Lee now, straight I formation from their 26, wingback reverse. Williams, 30, 35, first down, 40. He just caught the touchdown a minute ago, and he gets out to the 39-yard line and a gain of 13 yards. And the Lee offense, Randy, starting to get into a pretty good rhythm.
Well, the misdirection catches Mesquite off guard on that play, and just a great touchdown-saving tackle from Nesbitt, the corner, or Williams. Jason Williams might have had another long touchdown.
I had a team, a coach from the district say that one thing about Lee, we think we can move the ball on them, but we just couldn't get man-on-man with all the weapons they have. And if they scheme you on a play, you could be looking at 2 or 3 guys that sometimes can be wide open. Confusion, it appears, but now they're set. From the 39, this is the wingback Peyton Price, tries to bounce outside and now cuts it in for a yard out to the 40. And that time on what was kind of the little wham up the gut, Plummer, the safety, and Stephen Keel were there. And Peyton's had some tough yards early on in this game. He had the big run that blew up in the JT game a week ago.
Well, he wasn't able to get outside very well that time because Darrell Towns along the wing area, or actually the bandit linebacker for Mesquite, is there to turn him back inside for the tackle.
Under 3 minutes to go in the first half. It's 24-13. Robert E. Lee at their 40-yard line with a second down and 9. Tight end far side, T.Y. in motion up the middle. Peyton Price breaks a tackle, 40. Close to a first down. I think he has it at midfield. Jamarte Jackson, the corner, makes the play, and it's a gain of 9 yards. Give him 10, and Peyton Price has a first down.
And he breaks an initial tackle attempt from Stephen Keel, and that's a great job as he just keeps pedaling right out of the arm tackle attempt, and it gets downfield and a nice run. Peyton Price showing some authority running the football.
Offensive line trying to get into a little rhythm, too. Okay, Williams and Simpson near side, Giles the H-back. This is T.Y. and the stretch goes up the gut. That time just saw an opening, but it didn't stay there long, and he got a yard. Keel, Iwu, and Matt Pierce, the tackle that time, got just inside Mesquite territory for a gain of a yard.
Those big 240-pound bodies in DeMarcus Claiborne pinching back inside, and on that play, Saron Black was unable to get him outside, and Ross was going to cut back inside, but there he was to make the stop.
Simpson checks in, so does Price. He'll be in the fullback slot. Giles the H-back. It's an offset I formation at the Mesquite 49. 6-man front for Mesquite. Play action Josh. In the pocket, going deep. Coverage incomplete. Double coverage that time, and it was the corner Thompson along with the linebacker Nesbitt, or the safety, who was with Peyton Price, and there was no offset safety valve, although Fleet might have been in the route he was covered as well, and it's third down.
And the play was a little slow developing as Price could not get further down the field. The timing was a bit off, and Josh just throws it as far as he can where no one can get to it and no defenders to set that.
Our scoreboard show follows the post game, brought to you by Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Roach's Team Supply, Peters Chevrolet, and Earl Campbell's Meat Products and Seasonings. From the Mesquite 49. 3rd and 9, shotgun. Josh takes the snap. Now rolls out from pressure. Has a man open. Giles first down, 30. 20, breaks a tackle. Nice job, John Giles. Great job by Josh Hill to little freelance job, and Jacoby Thompson makes the tackle, but a gain of 27 yards.
Well, they run Giles out of the slot on the far side. He just crosses the field. I'm not sure if it was going to be a screen to him or a tailback screen, but once again, the quarterback gets away from the rush from DeMarcus Claiborne, forces him out of the pocket, but he finds him down the field wide open, uncovered.
If it was a screen or anything like that, the offensive line did a great job of not getting downfield to draw the penalty. From the 22 of Mesquite, shotgun, draw play, T.Y., nice block up the middle, breaks a tackle, down to the 15, gain of 7 tough yards, and he's approaching 100 yards. Elvis Ewo, the senior, with a stop that time for Mesquite, but Tyrone put a shoulder into him and knocked him back 5 yards.
Well, there are times when you think Tyrone is 6 foot, 200 pounds, is almost in the mold of a Derek Farmer, but he's a bit smaller, but those powerfully built legs just get him extra yardage all the time when he pushes forward.
Tony Bush far side. Actually, that's Tyrone far side. Under a minute to go in the first half. Under 50 seconds. Here's the shotgun. Josh in trouble. Steps up. Now rolls to his right. Now has to throw it away, and he throws it at the feet of Tyrone Ross. And now they're going to throw a penalty. And I don't understand the flag. Oh, I understand the flag. I do understand the flag. It was at the feet of Tyrone Ross, but he didn't throw it beyond the line of scrimmage. And Andy Dunklin came with that flag very, very quickly, and he comes all the way across this side of the field to talk to Mike Owens. Just somebody make a call, and he threw it at the feet of Tyrone Ross. Intentional grounding. Listen to the crowd. And I think why he got the call there, Randy, which is a huge loss back outside the 30, was he threw the ball towards Tyrone, but it was an attempt, obviously, to get rid of the football, and he didn't get the ball beyond the line of scrimmage. Had he just thrown the ball straight to Tyrone and he dropped it, it would have been an incomplete pass, but it was an obvious throw trying to get rid of the ball, and it's going to cost Lee that time back to the 28-yard line. 13-yard intentional grounding call.
Well, it's because he did not get the ball past the line of scrimmage. He probably would have been better off, although he was outside the tackle box, to throw the ball way over everybody's head out of bounds.
And again, it looked like they were trying to set up some sort of middle screen. Third and a long time. Here's Josh. Here's that middle screen. They got John Giles, and there's nowhere to go. People have learned to recognize that thing very, very well. Lee will call timeout with 25 seconds left. And John catches the pass for maybe a couple of inches.
Maybe about a half yard. He did a great job just to get to the ball as it was thrown pretty much into a crowd of white shirts as well, and did a great job to get outside and make something happen out of nothing.
That middle screen, which was always a big part of their repertoire, has just not been a part of it this year. Sometimes it's because the other team has just not rushed the quarterback. Sometimes it's because they've watched a lot of film and they understand that Lee loves to run that play. Now, this would be about a 45-yard field goal attempt from Cole Skates. Otherwise, it's fourth down and about 16 yards from Mesquite 28-yard line. They're going to bring the kicking team on, and the holder, remember, is the quarterback, Preston Hill. But here's another drive, Randy, that got into the red zone of Mesquite that turns out to be a field goal attempt.
Well, you want to try to make something positive happen, and getting points here would
well, it gives you a two-touchdown advantage
lead, but it also gives good workout and a good try from a bit further distance for Skates to go 45 yards.
He's 15 of 17 in his career. His long was 52 yards. Remember the game against Waco, his freshman year, he kicked a 52-yard field goal, and this will be a 45-yard attempt. Usually longer field goal attempts are a little bit lower trajectory. Hill will get the snap from Giles. They start the snap, hold. Here's the kick by Giles, long enough, and good. And Preston Hill with an amazing job of getting the ball down so that Cole Skates could drill it, and that would have been good from 50. Our score was 16 seconds to go in the first half. Robert E. Lee 27, Mesquite 13 back in 1 minute.
Man, are we going to take every lap full speed? Yeah! Are we going to trade paint without fear? Yeah! Are we going to brush our hair 100 times a day and condition after every shampoo and choose the right hair color to match our skin tone? Tim?
Terry, I'm an autumn.
I'm a spring. Now let's go out there and win one!
Supercuts, proud proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let go.
The new DQ Mulate Frozen Blended Coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
Micah Johnson kicking out for Robert E. Lee, 27-13 Red Raiders with 16 seconds to go and a 45-yard field goal from Cole Skates. Johnson drills a long kickoff. Nesbitt 2 yards deep, he'll bring it out at the 5, at the 10, looks for a seam, 20, 25, and knocked down at the 27. On the bottom of the pile, Jeremy Moore with 10 seconds to go in the first half.
Robert E. Lee responds with a field goal. Drive goes 10 plays, 46 yards, and 3:34. And Cole Skates with a booming 45-yard field goal to top it off.
And I can't tell you enough of the job that Preston Hill did to not panic. He picked it up off the ground. It was not a bad snap, but it was on the ground. He picked it up, and Cole did not stutter step and drills it with the broken hand and everything. Lance Heap also, by the way, on that stop. And here comes the victory formation as Mesquite's going to go to the clubhouse here. Takarian Cuba has come in. They do run the wingback reverse anyway. Harper gets out to the 30, and you know that's 8-9 more. Even though the clock's going to run out here to end the first half, Robert E. Lee's defense, well, they call timeout with 1 second to go in the first half. When you got Dre Johnson and Antonio Brown, why not? Gain of 9 yards on first down.
Well, they had their backup, Zach Emmons, at the game at quarterback on the running play they took just then. Just a nice little bit of misdirection, running behind Anthony Luna, the right guard. Nice block for Luna from Mesquite.
So now you, if you're Mesquite, you try to get some sort of shotgun formation, throw it as far as you can. Let me try to explain the intentional grounding call again from Andy Dunklin. It was one, Tyrone Ross was in the vicinity, but it was an obvious throw at his feet to avoid a sack. Even though Tyrone's an intended receiver, Tyrone was not beyond the line of scrimmage. Had he thrown that to Tyrone 4 or 5 yards downfield beyond the line of scrimmage, then you can't throw the penalty. And so, quite frankly, technically, it's the right call. These guys all do a great job. Second down, and Emmons with the inverted wishbone type formation. And he runs the tailback pitch to Harper, who gets close to a first down and also runs out the clock. Craig Smoke with Mike Owens.
Coach Owens, the intentional grounding call sort of halted your offensive drive that last time, but how big was it for your team to still get some points on the board?
Well, we had to get points, and we were deciding whether to go for it or kick the field goal, and we had to kick the field goal. The game as close as this is. Intentional grounding, I don't think so, but anyway.
You were able to contain Mesquite's offense in the first quarter, but Dre Johnson stepped up and he's made some really big plays, some nice long runs. What adjustments does your defense make going into halftime to try to stop that in the second half?
Well, and we got to tackle him, of course, and we knew coming in that he was a great player and that he was probably the biggest part of their offense that we had to stop. So, you know, they're blocking us pretty good up front, and we're not getting there. We're not closing on the seam. So that's what we got to do in the second half. We're not just not running to the ball like we ought to be.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, Craig, thank you very much, Coach Owens. The Kid Jones halftime report is coming up next on News Talk 600 KTBB.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let go.
The new DQ Mulate Frozen Blended Coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
Hi, I'm Becky Martin. I've been with TISD for 19 years, and I teach English here at Robert E. Lee, and you're watching TISD Football on Cox.
Southern Bells and the Red Raider Band would like to recognize their senior members. Thank you, seniors, for all of your hard work and dedication to our program. Also, thank you to all parents for your continued support of our organization. We could not do it without you. Senior Southern Bells, Michelle Anderson, Morgan Garfield, Rachel Bracken, Christy Cameron, Senior Sergeant, Catherine Cantrell, Heather Clark, Amanda Demas, Amy Dowdy, Laura Bissett, Natalie Gibson, Heather Jacobs, Officer Ashley Langus, Captain Shelley Moranich, Kim Reeves, Officer Tara Richmond, Junior Sergeant Kate Sigmund, Jennifer Smoke, Michelle Stewart, Officer Lindsay Templeton, Officer Brittany Tomlinson, Officer Courtney Tomlinson, Katie White, Head Guard Alex Pierce, Wade Arnold, Ryan Harrison, and Preston Hart. Now recognizing the seniors for 2005, the Red Raider Band. Katie Allen, Megan Baker, Zachary Barton, Blake Billings, Alicia Kane, Daniel Morrisonov, Carolyn Crenshaw, Deanna Addison, Deanna Day, Diana Dudley, Ashley Gardner, Elroy Gregory, Shelby Hall, Miles Hampton, Madison Herbert, Jared Howard, Jessica Jones, Stephen Langton, Megan Lilmore, Leylon McConnell, David Meeks, Patrice Mock, Crystal Mundia, Loretta Nunez, Mondale Arnoa, Jennifer Pink, Chelsea Porter, Andrew Frick, Julia Rand, Blake Robertson, Brooke Spurlock, Brenda Seeley, Elizabeth Simmons, Lindsay Smith, James Thomas, Joanna Turner, Crystal Wheeler, and Christopher Young. Thank you, seniors. And now, the Southern Bells, performing a colorful star routine to the music in a young man's mind. Elite in the lead. At this time, Robert E. Lee High School and the Tyler Independent School District proudly present the pride of Robert E. Lee, the Red Raider Marching Band. And congratulations to the band as they received their 4th consecutive First Division rating at the Region 21 Marching Contest. Under the field direction of head drum major Adrian Jones, assistant drum majors Brian Kelly and Mondale Manuhara, and field conductor David Meeks, the Red Raider Band presents an energized performance of Land of 1,000 Dances.
Afternoon, sir. Bill Butler. How are you?
Good.
Good. Well, prepare to be great, my friend. I present the Turbo Suck 3000.
Actually, you know, my show's about to start.
Don't worry, Dave. The Cox DVR is set to record every episode. You can watch it when he's done.
Perfect. I'll just need an outlet. There you go.
Watch your favorite shows on your schedule with the DVR from Cox. TV waits for you.
Now you can get into the deep crevices here in the corner.
Men, I think our racing team needs to reflect our Supercut sponsorship. So, make some changes. First off, we're gonna go to clear helmets so racing fans can see your fine Supercut hair.
Those are made out of glass.
Y'all be careful. Second, uniform change.
How are we supposed to drive? There's no armholes.
I haven't figured that one out yet, but we're working on it.
Man, I'm out of here.
Fellas,
you're out of your mind. That's not
where you going?
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Can you drive a stick?
(27-13), Robert E. Lee at halftime, and about to start the second half. Two offensive linemen meet at midfield to kind of just make sure they know where everyone's supposed to be. Robert E. Lee is kicking off to start the second half, and again, our Kid Jones halftime report was brought to you by Kid Jones Convenience Stores, the fastest in Texas with name brand gas, clean lit stores, and everything you need for the game. Kid Jones Convenience Stores all over East Texas. And Micah Johnson will kick off for Lee, and the way Mesquite had the ball and the way they moved the ball, except for taking, well, not taking a knee, but basically running the clock out to end the first half. Randy, they have a lot of confidence they can move the ball up and down the field. They get the first possession here, and if Lee's defense can make a stand, that would give them that extra possession and perhaps also get the momentum back on the lead defensive side. They look good early, but again, a couple of very impressive drives from a great-looking quarterback in Dre Johnson.
Well, with his athleticism, he's able to see the field, and he either makes that fake or he takes off and runs it himself on the delay or the draw, and he finds the hole very quickly. He's got great moves and great vision, and it allows him, it helps him out to do all those great things.
21-7, Rockwall leads JT at the half. 13-3, Longview leads North Mesquite at the half. 27-13 here. We're about to start the second half. Kilgore trails at Jacksonville. Number 2, Kilgore trailing at Jacksonville 10-6 at halftime. And Tatum leads Spring Hill 14-7 in Longview in a very critical 3A game. Nesbitt and Harper back deep from Mesquite near the goal line. Johnson approaches, kicks it off very high, not as deep. And Harper will let it hit and go towards the sideline, and I think Lee has recovered. No. Wow, that thing got really close. Adrian Beard and Nick Mitchell and Jeremy Moore, that thing came within another bounce towards the sideline, but Harper somehow was able to get it, and that was very close to a nice job. Willie Williams tapping his kids in the top of the head as they knock Mesquite back inside the 15. Dre Johnson in the first half, 4 of 10 passing, 55 yards, a touchdown but 1 pick, but he rushed for 86 yards in the first half, and he had a lot of double-digit runs of 10, 12, and 13 yards, and he goes in that shotgun. Boy, where would they be without him with the injury to Reggie Fish? From the 14, shotgun, handed off. Harper, Jason Stripling comes down hard from that bandit position to knock him down for a gain of about a yard. It brings up second down, and they actually give him a couple for a gain of 2. Gabriel Lacey starts off a defensive tackle. McLean was in that game as well. Sherfield and Mumphrey are the defensive ends. DeHaven, Skates, and Van Zant the linebackers. Nicholson and Johnson the corners, and Takari and Cuba with a touchdown. And Nick Mitchell, nope, it's Lance Heap again, who's getting a lot of time and has done a great job with that playing time. Second down and 8. Whistle blows, flag down. And it's a procedure call on Antonio Brown, the very talented wide receiver, the 5'9", 155-pound senior. May have stepped across the line. I'm not sure what the call might have been.
Well, it came very quickly, even before the offensive line got up to the line of scrimmage. The side judge on the near side threw the flag immediately.
Actually, it's not even really procedure. And then that just confirms what we said, Randy. It's offsides. The only way an offensive player can have it offsides if he steps across, not moves early, but actually steps across, which Brown did even before the snap. And you're supposed to look at that head linesman or linesman, and now he does. Second and 13 in the shotgun. Johnson rolls to the far side. Little pass to Helton for short yardage. Nice job by Takarian Cuba. 6'2", 185-pound sophomore, gain of about 5. And Mesquite throws the short pass to set up a more manageable 3rd down and 7.
Simply a short dump pass, but a great job of reading the play from his safety position. The sophomore Takarian Cuba up to wrap up Helton very quickly after he just catches the ball and turns upfield.
4 receivers set. Big offensive lineman Mubarak Mahogany turned around, wanted to know the snap. 3rd down and 7. Johnson said, let me just get behind you there, big boy. Here comes Dre. Pass incomplete. That could be a flag, and it is. He ran into the safety, Antonio Brown, looking for a flag, and Jay Organ, the back judge, throws the pass interference call. And I'll tell you what happened here. Pass interference against Robert E. Lee. There was contact. He did run into Cuba, but Cuba seemed to have the position, which then started the contact. And that's going to be an automatic 1st down at the 27-yard line. And boy, it would have been another 3 and out for the lead defense. And they didn't get it because of the pass interference call from the back judge. And it was, again, contact, and he did impede him from catching the football. It looked like the receiver is the one that actually initiated contact, though. But he has a right to the football. Here comes the blitz from Stripling up the middle. He now gets loose, tries to get outside, and he's not going to anyone outrun Cole Skates in the perimeter. Great coverage as well downfield from the secondary. Dominique Van Zandt also gets involved, but a nice job for Lee to force Johnson not up the middle that time, but to the perimeter, and they're as fast as you can get on the perimeter.
Yes, and also Van Zandt really read the play nicely as the blitz came from the near side from Stripling. The quarterback sees it, and then Johnson takes off towards the far side of the field, and Skates is there with great wheels he's got, as well as Van Zandt to wrap him up.
Second down and about 12. Robert E. Lee defensively with almost a 5 now. They move back into a 4-man down front against this quarterback Johnson. Snap, Johnson rolls near side, looks for the sideline. Now has a lot of time. Throws it, pass caught at the 40, no, incomplete. Out of bounds, John McKinley, the linesman on the near side, and guess who knocked him out of bounds? And just in case it had happened in the Texas OU game, in high school and college football, even if you're forced out of bounds when you would have come in bounds, it is an incomplete pass. In the pros, they can say they thought you would have come down in bounds when you're forced out of bounds, and that might have happened right there. Third down and about 13.
Give credit to the Lee defensive front, their linebackers as well, with Lacey and DeHaven applying the pressure, forcing Johnson stringing out the play to throw the incompletion.
Antonio Brown man-to-man with Micah Johnson near side. 3rd and 12. Johnson runs the draw to Harper at the 30, bounces outside, and a nice job for Lee to keep him short of the first down at the 34. He got about 9 yards. Lance Heap and also Jacoby McKenzie and Cole Skates there. Gain of 9, but about 4 yards short of the first down. And Lee's defense forcing Mesquite to at least attempt a punt with 9:18 to go. Third quarter, 27-13, Robert E. Lee.
They have to be on their toes for the fake. Mesquite faked the ball, or attempted to twice against Longview earlier in the season.
It backfired one time.
It sure did.
4th and 3 here. Ortiz is the kicker. Snap, plenty of time. Kicks it and turns it over. And actually kind of turns it over backwards, hits at the Lee 40, and then goes backwards like a Bellata like one of those old Bellata golf balls. They don't have Bellata golf balls anymore. Lee will get great field position at their 44. And what I'm trying to at least explain, of course, I always have to throw golf into it as he hit it. The ball stuck and came backwards, spun backwards, 22 yards. See, John McKinley, the linesman, would understand those kind of terms because he's a 4 handicap, and he is every bit of that. He shot a sub-70 round. The linesman on the near side, on the home side, shot a sub-70 round earlier this year. 22-yard punt from Ortiz, and Lee up 14 at their 44-yard line. Straight on. T.Y. left tackle, nothing there. Great job closing. Number 44, the defensive tackle, Quentin Taylor, and he's a load at 6 foot 240, just a junior, and T.Y. might have lost a half a foot.
Well, the block didn't get off for that time to pull back to the near side for Culp, and he just, Taylor was able to get by him right in front of him to fight off the block and make a nice tackle on the first down.
8:28 to go, clock runs, Simpson comes out. 27-13, Lee up front for Mesquite, Claiborne, Pierce, Taylor, and Malone. Linebackers are Iwo and Keel. Corners are Thompson, Jackson, Plummer, the safety with Townsend, Nesbitt everywhere. Josh with play action, steps up in the pocket, now runs, and gets tripped up for a loss of about a yard at the 42. Iwu, the linebacker, makes the stop, the 5'11", 185-pound senior. Josh may have been able to go to the opposite side, but boy, there's some big old boys in there, and Josh is not the biggest kid, but he's 5'11", made the right move that time, and it's 3rd down and 11. And this crowd is
pretty quiet. That was a nice bit of coverage.
On offense, that's fine to be quiet. When you're on defense, you're supposed to try to make it hard for the other team to get a snap off, but that doesn't happen around here. 3rd and 11. 2 receivers this way, and Tyrone is in the slot. Josh steps up, now pressured, throws across the field, first down to the man. As good a possession receiver as you'll find in high school football, Walter Simpson for a gain of 12. Nice job for the offensive line to give Josh, who kind of maybe moves a little bit out of the pocket to bide some more time in a first down.
Well, and he does a great job, but give credit to his offensive line for holding their blocks for a good 5 or 6 count, giving him the protection he needs. And there's his tight end Giles right over the middle, turn in on the curl in pattern for the first down.
So now first down, Lee at the 44 of Mesquite. They flop the 44s. Wingback reverse, Jason Williams knocked down in the backfield. Number 33, Elvis Iwu, the senior linebacker, with a nice job of shooting the gap, and a loss of 2. Back to the 46-yard line. Lee has not really had gaping runs, big, huge chunks of yardage tonight on the ground, but they've had the big plays in the passing game that have helped set up some scores and great field position as well.
Well, because of the pursuit and the great job of pursuit by Mesquite, they're able to read the play, and the plays seem to be a little slower developing tonight for Lee, too, and that was no exception there as Ewu fights through his block to make a nice tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Might be the quickness of the athletes on the other side of that defense as well. Two receivers split near side. Bush, the lone receiver. There's nope, they get back, I guess. Hill, sideline pass. Oh, what a nice throw. Tony Bush, first down. Right before the snap, Walter Simpson backed off the line of scrimmage. Gain of 15 yards, and Lee going to the possession passing game here to loosen up the defense, and Tony Bush catches it out front of his body. Nice throw from Josh and a first down at the Mesquite 30.
It's all about the execution. If Lee can execute well, they're very, very tough to defend, even if their running game is not as its usual peak. The great passing game from Josh Hill to Bush picks up another first down.
Double tight set, little physicality maybe. Tyrone off left tackle, cuts it inside the 30, now makes a move and gets down to the 25, down to the 22, and Donovan Plummer, the senior. That's another nice 8-yard pickup from Tyrone. Second down and 2 and 94 yards and 11 carries for T.Y., who's 8 yards away from 1,000 yards this season.
Well, he makes a great cutback, gets a nice block out front from Banks, and also Saron Black with a good push. 4 or 5 white shirts there to try to corral him, but they're not going to bring him down with an arm tackle.
Simpson and Bush, a great tandem on the far side. T.Y. is the H-back. Straight up fullback is Peyton Price. Wing-back fake. Now, Josh, time in the pocket, over the middle, pass tipped and dropped by Tony Bush. That was a great job by Ewu, the linebacker. Tony had a first down and might have been able to get in the end zone, but that time the linebacker got his pinky on it and knocked it down right into the chest of Tony, and it's now 3rd and 2. And not a bad give-up down right there, Randy, on second down and short.
Well, they try to design the play, but Mesquite, to their credits, in a nice zone defense, the little middle linebacker just drops back into coverage and plays the field, follows the pass, and slightly deflects it.
Offset eye, Josh was 7 of 8 until that incomplete pass, and that was tipped. Here's Peyton up the middle, 15, into the secondary, first down and goal at the 10. Plummer, the safety, saves a touchdown, gain of 13. Also, Jamarte Jackson was there, but Peyton hit that quick little pop up the gut, got a great sear block from Larman, who is the center, and of course Brian Culp with a kick-out block as well. And a gain of 13 for Peyton Price.
After Lee goes 2 of 7 on third down conversions in
Check
the first
that was Bailey at center. I keep on getting, I gotta make sure I gave him credit.
They rotate him well. 2 of 2 now on this drive on third down conversions.
First and goal, Lee. T.Y. left tackle. He will score! Touchdown! Robert E. Lee, Walter Simpson, a block downfield, and Sam Banks with a great block as well. And the Human Island wraps up T.Y. around the head, and a nice job by Giles on the H-back block. Touchdown, Lee. It's 34 if they kick the extra point. 34-13.
That was a 9-yard run, and that puts him right at 1,000 yards.
Puts him over 1,000 yards.
With a nice run and just great blocking, great execution. They get a nice hole open for him, and he just shifts and darts right through it. Goes in untouched for 6.
Very impressive drive for Robert E. Lee, and again, some very important third down conversions with the passing game. Snap, hold, kick, good. 34-13, Robert E. Lee with 5:18 to go. Third quarter, back in 1 minute from Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium in Tyler.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let me go.
The new DQ Mulate Frozen Blended Coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
Men, I think our racing team needs to reflect our Supercut sponsorship. So, make some changes. First off, we're going to go to clear helmets so racing fans can see your fine Supercut hair.
Those are made out of glass.
Y'all be careful. Second, uniform change.
How are we supposed to drive? There's no armholes.
I haven't figured that one out yet, but we're working on it.
And I'm out of here.
Fellas,
you're out of your mind. That's not
where are you going?
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Can you drive a stick?
In the game of life, there are no timeouts, only time wasted. The path you choose now determines your future. But where can you go to find a sense of purpose? There is a place where team spirit steps off the field and into the classroom. where no victory goes unnoticed and there's no such thing as wasted time. That place is Tyler Junior College, living life in color, never black and white. Come to Tyler Junior College. We're changing the game. We're changing lives.
Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Represent your team like never before. On the field, on the court, it's all in our store. The spirit of your team, the season of your dreams. Looking for the victory, we've got what you need. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics.
5:18 to go. I feel like the press box is a greenhouse tonight. It's very humid. The air conditioner, I guess the computer shut down or something. Kick deep in the end zone, and Nesbitt will bring it out, and he's got, oh, there's a clip right there, and there's no flag. Wow. Lance Heap got hit from behind. Otherwise, he would have knocked Nesbitt back at the 5-yard line. How in the world do you miss that? But somebody did, and Matt Uzell eventually and Jeremy Moore make the stop. I mean, that was an obvious block in the back, and he gets it out to the 21-yard line. Josh Bracken was the one with the block and is right in front of an official, but they don't throw it. First down, Mesquite at the 21-yard line.
Lee goes 8 plays, 56 yards at 3:33 with the score. We're also going from 9 yards out.
Shotgun, Dre Johnson runs the quarterback draw, and he runs into Dominique Van Zandt, who muscles him down to the ground. I mean, that Lance Heap not only got knocked about 5 yards at the 10, and there's nothing else there but the blocker and Lance Heap and the ball. But then you heard the crowd, they didn't like it either. The gain of about 3 for Stephen Harper out to the 23-yard line.
Well, we have to recognize officials are human, and they sometimes miss calls, and he might have been looking the other way, obviously.
But then what if he goes 102 yards and turns this thing right back around again? Second down and 7. Stripling dancing around. He comes. Here comes Lee with a blitz. Sideline pass open at the 30, close to a first down. He tripped right at the sticks. That's number 80, Taylor Tobias. And that time, Lee's corners were going backwards. And it's a gain of 6 yards, and it's now 3rd and a yard.
Well, Tobias had the catch, turned around, and there was nobody near him. He just kind of fell down, and just short of the first down attempt, the receiver was open, and Johnson finds him on the far sideline.
I thought he landed right at the sticks, but he again tripped over the shoelaces or something. 3rd and a yard. Got a feeling it's a quarterback draw, and it is, and Lee was there waiting for it. Cordero Mumphrey drops Johnson at about the 30.5-yard line. He needs the 31, and Craig Smokin, very nice job, and Lee knew who was going to get the ball that time, didn't they?
Yeah, they had a good idea. I mean, Dre Johnson's had some really big runs against Robert E. Lee tonight, and you kind of start sniffing that out. Eventually wants to start going to it every time. I guess going to the well once too often, and Lee wasn't fooled that play.
They're going to bring out the sticks. The ball is in between the 30 and 31. He needs just inside their own 31-yard line, which is, it's probably, Randy, a good football. And the reason why Mesquite's called for the sticks, it's not a first down, is they want to be able to have a little extra time to talk over and think of what play they run. And you remember they used to run the old wishbone. You got a feeling they're going to probably go into that or just run Dre Johnson with some sort of a draw play. And it's not even a yard, but Mesquite down by 21 points, most likely having to go for it here.
Well, their backs are to the wall, and they need to keep possession of the football, and that appears that's what they're going to do. They're probably getting that power set, as you mentioned, or maybe even try to draw Lee offside.
This could be a loss of yardage or a 69-yard touchdown. One of those plays, you know? So in the shotgun, Dre Johnson. He's got the big running back. Actually, he's got 26 gambling in the game here from their own 30.5. Lee with a bunch of big muscle in front. Johnson now calls timeout, and Lee did a very nice job defensively. Sherfield and Stripling and McKenzie and DeHaven and Lacey and Cordero Mumphrey not to jump off sides, and I'm not so sure that Mesquite still may not go for it here, but we'll take a timeout with them. It's 34-13 Lee, and we're back in 30 seconds on KTBB.
To see this sign on your house, put this sign out front. Century 21 Advantage. Call or visit our website.
Education is a priority in Tyler. With new growth and increasing student enrollment, the Tyler Independent School District studied the condition of its facilities. Focusing on the most critical needs first, the district's Board of Trustees voted unanimously to call for a bond election for a portion of these needs. The election affecting the children of Tyler is November 2nd. Visit www.tylerisd.org and click on Bond 2004 or call 903-262-1064.
Here's a question. If you needed your insurance, who would you call? Not the name of the company, but the name of the person. You've got 2 seconds. Coming up blank, you may want to consider Allstate. You'd have a local agent you can count on, a licensed professional whose name you know, not just a number. You deserve a relationship with a real person.
For all your insurance needs, call the McIntyre Insurance Agency in the Albertson Shopping Center.
Man, are we going to take every lap full speed? Yeah! Are we going to trade paint without fear? Yeah! Are we going to brush our hair 100 times a day and condition after every shampoo and choose the right hair color to match our skin tone? Tim?
Terry, I'm an autumn.
I'm a spring. Now let's go out there and win one!
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Back at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium in Tyler. 4th down and inches here, maybe the length of the football for the Skeeters, and they do bring out the big linemen. And they're at the 30.5-yard line. 34-13 Lee, and this is again one of those where sometimes you can pop it big, and then again it could be something simple, and they bring in Emmons, the quarterback, for maybe a sneak or a handoff to the fullback Harper. Emmons, deep pitch. I don't think he made it. It's going to depend on the mark on this side. They came with the wing back, and I think he is short by just the nose of the football as they pitched it back to the wing back, and I don't think he made it, and a great job, and I think it might have been Mumphrey from the backside. I'm not real sure. Craig, were you there?
Yeah, Dominique Van Zandt and Lance Lee were the one able to wrap him up for the tackle.
Very good pursuit, and I was surprised at the call that time as they went with the motion to the near side, and it appears from our angle the ball is a football length past the 30, and they need the 31, and not quite the 31, and here comes the chain crew, and that's going to be a very nice stop for Lee and a backbreaker for Steve Halpin and his Skeeters, but his offense needs to make something happen. Here's the sticks. No. Big-time stop for Robert E. Lee from their own 31 Mesquite, or the 30. They don't make it, and here comes the Lee offense.
Well, credit Lee's defense for stiffening up 2 consecutive plays, draw nothing, and they make a nice fourth down stand. And what's even greater about it, they get the ball at the 30-yard line of Mesquite.
They get great field position. This is like almost a turnover here. And now if you're Mesquite, you are with definitely your backs against the wall, the end zone, and the clock, 3:38 to go third quarter. 34-13, Lee with 2 receivers and Tony Bush in the slot near side. He goes in motion. Josh, there's a procedure call. Somebody forgot to snap. Blake Larman, the center on this series. Everybody else seemed to move but him. And it cost Robert E. Lee a 5-yard penalty, and they'll try to regroup. Andy Dunklin with the call. Mesquite High School, by the way, and first time these 2 programs met was in '99, and that was a tremendous football game. Shannon Spurlock caught a pass late in the game and tiptoed down the sidelines, but stepped out of bounds, and eventually Lee missed a field goal that would have forced overtime. But they almost took the lead. Here's the snap to Josh, who's back in the pocket. Will now go to the far side. Looks downfield, throws, pass. Simpson, no good, incomplete. At about the 20, he had double coverage down there, and Josh got it away, got nailed after he did as well. And it's 2nd down and 15. Randy, that was a great game. That was the start of Mesquite's eventual state championship run 2 years later when they beat Lee at Texas Stadium, and they were just a better football team. And Marco Martin and company, Brandon Douglas. And then 2 years ago, Lee started off slowly here, but eventually beat Mesquite to get on to their trip to the semifinals before losing to Midland High. Josh Hill with an incomplete pass, 2 in a row. He's attempted 16 passes. 8 of 16 back in the shotgun. In the pocket, has a lot of time, throws down the sideline, and Tony Bush was tied up with the cornerback, Jamarte Johnson. And boy, he again had plenty of room once he stepped up in the pocket, but there was only 2 receivers. Peyton Price kind of a safety valve, but nothing there.
And Josh Hill stays in the pocket very patiently, gets some nice blocking and protection. But just as he releases the ball, Rory Malone puts a tag on him to drop him to the ground and forces a little bit of mistiming, throwing the ball a little further down the field than he wanted to.
This is a team that has at times not been able to go for the jugular. This is the time to go for the jugular, up 21 with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. You're at home. Mesquite just turned it over on 4 downs, and Lee has gone backwards on this drive, but here's a 3rd and 15. Triple set far side. Tony Bush now on the line of scrimmage. And now here comes a whistle. Confusion and a delay of game call against Robert E. Lee. Wow, you were in field goal position when the series began. Now you've had a procedure call, and that play was ugly from the time it left the sideline.
Well, they do these little things, and you know, fortunately, it hadn't cost them the 9.
You know, they
it
don't
did 2 weeks ago against North Mesquite, but it has.
How often have they ever had a delay of game call with all the things? Now, let's think about this. This coaching staff, it's a very complicated setup.
Not very often.
Very scheme-oriented. Lots of movement, lots of schemes, lots of formations. I don't think I can remember the last time they had a delay of game call. So that is one thing to say. But what they've done here is set up 3rd down and 20. Josh Hill in the shotgun with T.Y., the up back. Here's the snap. Here comes the blitz. He's in trouble. Gets it off to T.Y. incomplete. And this is a pretty nasty series right here. They've just gone back 10 yards and may have to punt the ball down in Mesquite territory. And if you're Steve Halpin, you've got to take a deep breath and just sigh of relief, because Lee could have put you away right there, and now they're going to punt the football. And they started this drive at the 30-yard line.
Well, they shot themselves in the foot with 2 penalties, and they only had 2, or actually 3, going into the drive, and they almost matched that with the 2 penalties.
Just pound the ball, get a field goal, and you're up 3.5 touchdowns. 4th down and 20. Josh Hill punting from the 40 of Mesquite. Up back is Peyton Price. Snap to Josh, no pressure, gets it off. Pooch kick down the left sideline, hits at the 10. Picked up by Harper at the 5, or Towns at the 5, and he's drilled at the 10 by about 4 or 5 Red Raiders. Great coverage. Colby Ray initially, Justin Hansen, Matt Uzel, and Trevor Reed and John Giles, and also Mason and Price were down there, and Darrell Towns took some shots. 34-yard, a very effective punt from Josh Hill, and a 7-yard return. I'm not sure why he picked it up in the first place.
Well, that was a pretty bad decision, or it could have been even worse for him had he bobbled the ball, but he decides to grab it because he's right in front of it and just takes up a field, and 8 or 9 red shirts there to finally haul him down.
Now Lee can give their offense great field position to get if they can shut down the Mesquite offense here. Johnson in the shotgun runs the option far side, looks for a seam, spins away, but Van Zant was there, then Stripling. He spun away from Dominique and ran into Jason. There's a nice 1-2 combination that time. Justin Simmons was also there for Robert E. Lee, the defensive end, number 45, the 195 senior, gain of a yard.
And you heard a few oohs and ahs. It looked dazzling the way he turned, but he turned right into the tackle. He was going to try to get back to the near side of the field with misdirection, but he was unable to do so.
2nd down and 9, Mesquite from their 12-yard line. Down by 21 with 2:30 to go in the third quarter here on KTBB from Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. Here comes the blitz. Johnson sideline overshoots Antonio Brown, and Craig Smoke dodged that time. Craig, did you have a chance?
No, I didn't really have a good chance to catch that. I'm left-handed, and my mic was in my left hand. So.
It would have nailed him in the chest.
So 3rd down and 9, but Craig could play a little right field. He had a gun for an arm. 3rd and 9 now for Mesquite, and the lead defense loved to put a 3 and out here. Bobby Osborne is now in a defensive tackle for Lee. Colby Ray is one of the defensive ends, and Justin Simmons on the other side, as Lee has some backups in the front line. 3rd down and 9. Johnson rolls, going deep for Brown. It should be a pick. Micah Johnson, yes, intercepted. His 3rd of the year, 2nd in 2 weeks at the Mesquite 48. It's just like a pretty good punt, but the turnovers coming for Robert E. Lee tonight in this game.
Well, that's 2 picks now, and of course the big 4th down stop on the prior drive from Mesquite. Now Lee needs to respond and move the ball forward and not have these silly penalties they had on the last possession.
Got to open up this window, man. This is
very
ridiculous in here. I mean, you can start growing mold. First down and 10, and believe me, with what I got all over me, I mean, I think we could. Carry him, right? Golly. Holy smokes. First and 10, Lee at the Mesquite 48-yard line. Two receivers this way. It's T.Y. left tackle. Gets a couple of tough yards, maybe a yard. That's all. Ewa was there in the game for Keel, Stephen Keel, and Quentin Taylor, the big junior defensive tackle. Appreciate those of you from the Mesquite area who might be listening to the broadcast tonight. Andrew Bailey, the center. And it's 1:50 to go, third quarter.
This game has had really two big ebbs and flows. It's had a defensive tilt in the first quarter, an offensive explosion in the second, now another defensive tilt in the third, and we see what we have going on in the last quarter in minute 40.
Two kind of split wings here for Lee. Double tight set. T.Y. is a throw downfield, and John Giles can call fair catch, and he dropped it. Wow. Josh Hill, that was an amazing effort to just get away from Darrell Towns, and that thing hung in the air, but there was nobody there but the Mesquite sideline and John, who was the player of the game last week. That thing should have been caught for a first down. It's now third down and 9 at the Mesquite 47.
Well, he was wide open, of course, and he has been several times when they've called his number tonight on that play specifically. But give credit, of course, as you mentioned, to Darrell Towns, as he rushed Josh Hill 20 yards back behind the line of scrimmage to throw the ball, and it was a pop-up, but it should have been called.
Couple of plays Lee usually has very good success with. The middle screen has not worked tonight, and neither has that bootleg. Here's another middle screen, and it's intercepted. Stephen Keel, 35, 20. Knocked down at the 20, down to the 15-yard line. Wow. I just mentioned it, and the kiss of death. Peyton Price saved a touchdown and a great job of hustling from behind, and the middle screen, a disaster on that play. Craig.
Yeah, it looked like there was about 3 or 4 defenders already right in Josh Hill's face as soon as he took steps backwards. The offensive line were looking downfield, but there's about 3 guys in the backfield, and Josh throwing the ball just threw it right into Keel's chest.
That play has been some of the great plays for Lee and some of the worst plays for Lee. Go back a couple of years ago to A&M Consolidated, and a timeout for Lee's defense. Well, let's just be real serious here. The Lee offense has had a chance twice now in this third quarter to put their foot on the neck of Mesquite. Now they turn it over again, and Mesquite, at the end of the third quarter, is a touchdown away from pulling to within 14.
Well, they're knocking at the door, and it's just one too many times to that type of play, and it hadn't been successful, but they go to it again.
That play has not been successful most of this year.
In a long time, and it wasn't a couple of seasons ago, but for a time or two. But I suppose they're looking for something over the middle of the field, but that's not the call. Is the great pressure from the athletic Mesquite defense puts it to Josh Hill, and he did the best he could under the circumstances.
But they were all over him again, and you want him to. But Stephen Keel's a great linebacker. He studies films. He probably saw some sort of thing that tipped him off.
He stayed at home.
And that play is, boy, that thing has. There have been some major disasters on that middle screen, and there have been some great plays. There's no question about it. They've had some huge plays there as well, but not this year. It has just not worked. Remember, Longview picked it off.
Yep.
Adrian Brooks ran it back before Josh Hill knocked him down. Now, knocking at the lead door, Dre Johnson. Here's an offense that did not move the ball in the third quarter. From the lead 13, Johnson up the middle. Great job by the defense. Great job by the interior defense of Robert E. Lee that time. Warren DeHaven was there, and so was number 45, Justin Simmons, and Gabriel Lacey.
Oh, wow. Also up front, Ricky Sherfield is there to wrap him up, too. They're not fooling anybody right now. Lee's defense has played very, very well here in the third quarter as Smoke is looking to, that's the interception, buddy.
Second down and 11. Johnson, the quarterback, shotgun. Back to throw. Fade pattern. Pass almost intercepted. Nice coverage from Preston Hill. Is that Nick Mitchell to carry Cuba? Excuse me. It looked like a 6th and an 8th and a 9, and Cuba almost got his second pick on the fade pattern to Zach Emmons that time, who also comes in to play a little quarterback. That time he was a wide receiver. And it's 3rd and 11. This would be a great stand for the lead defense.
And they need it too, just to knock off that momentum that Mesquite has at the moment, to not let them any closer.
Now 39 seconds to go. Third quarter. Four receivers. Johnson, the quarterback. Movement on the right tackle. Josh Bracken jumped early, and this will cost Mesquite 5 yards. And they were going to run that quarterback jam right up the middle, maybe a little bit towards the left-hand side.
Yeah, and in disgust, Dre Johnson just slings the ball from one hand to the other as he gets the snap. And just a flinch by the right tackle, and it's fairly obvious, and the flag comes out. 20-6, Longview has scored again against North Mesquite. And again, if that score holds up, then Mesquite and Lee are in no matter what happens tonight. Mesquite next week takes on Rockwall. Robert E. Lee is at Hanby Stadium against a Horn football team making their first trip up from 4A to 5A this year. 3rd and 16 now. Mesquite at the lead 20. Johnson's shotgun. 4 receivers, 2 each side, right in the middle of the field. Draw play Harper. Not much there. In fact, it's not Harper. It's Avery Gamblin, the sophomore, who has 65 yards and a touchdown this year. Mumphrey, Stripling, McKenzie, and much, much more. And it brings up 4th down and a long way to go for Mesquite. They bottled up nicely. They just watch the running play as it shifts back off to the right-hand side, and blocking up front doesn't push Lee back. And Lee has 5 or 6 red shirts there to wrap up the game.
Would be nice when the 4th quarter starts, if you're listening to the game, to tell the people around you that you can get up and scream when your team is on defense. At the end of 3, Robert E. Lee 34, Mesquite 13. We're back in 60 seconds on KTBB.
Morning.
What's up, bro?
Welcome to the party. It's the ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package. Get access to more than 150 extra college football games this season.
Prepare to party. Call 1-888-SPORTS-IN and order ESPN Game Plan. Available with Cox Digital Cable.
Car shopping can be stressful. With all the clutter out there, it's hard to tell what to buy. But at Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center, we believe that the simplest way is the best way. So we offer a large selection of quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, priced to sell with no hassles. Each vehicle has been through a 20-point inspection for quality assurance. You can shop in comfort under the awnings and check out our newly expanded lot with more inventory than ever before. Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center on the corner of Glenwood and Vine and Tyler.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let it go.
The new DQ Mulatte Frozen Blended Coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
Start the 4th quarter now. Well, I almost choked. 4th and 13. Here comes the blitz. Johnson, fade pattern. Brown overshoots his intended receiver. And get up and give the defense a hand. That's a huge stand for the lead defense after the interception return inside the 15-yard line.
2 times now in the second half, 4th down conversions have gone awry for Mesquite as Lee's defense has answered the call both times, and Lee's defense is winning the ball game at the moment.
Wow, that's a huge defensive stand, and Randy Huffstickler and Jay Law have got to be proud. Defensive ends coach Willie Williams, defensive tackles coach is Jerry Reed. Jay Law does the linebackers, and Randy, of course, the secondary. That's a huge, huge series defensively. Peyton Price up the middle, 30. He can outrun the safety, 40. Midfield, look at Peyton go! Go, baby! 10, 5, touchdown! That kid is amazing! That kid is absolutely amazing! 83 yards! Peyton Price outruns everybody! Touchdown!
Well, he just does a great job. The hole is open on the belly slide play, and he just jams it up the middle, and once he breaks free into the secondary, it's a foot race, and he beats 2 defenders, at least 1 behind, and the other stays with him, and dives in vain at the 15, and a stutter step straddling dance into the end zone for Peyton Price and the Lee Red Raiders.
Black, Banks, Larman, Culp, Holland, Andrew Bailey, Christian, and Davenport all rotated a lot in the offensive line, and they threw a heck of a seal block. Snap, kick by Cole is good. Busted open, baby. 41-13. Peyton Price. You hear about Tyrone and all the yards. He deserves all the credit. The passing game. Jason Williams, the hammer. Peyton Price has just gone over 100 yards for the second consecutive game. He is approaching almost 800 yards rushing this year and nearly 1,000 yards in total offense, and that is his 8th touchdown this season.
An average coming in right at 11 yards per carry, and that doesn't hurt it at all tonight as he blows that one open and outraces the Skeeter defense for the touchdown.
109 yards, 83 monster yards right there. Forget about the middle screen. Just run the fullback up the middle to take care of the business. And does that open up the rest of the offense with a bunch of time to go? And Peyton Price, who 2 weeks ago against North Mesquite was our Dusty Rhodes Marine player of the game, then caught a touchdown and ran for a touchdown against John Tyler last week. Wow, and I'm talking about there were 2 defensive backs who had an angle on him. He's a fullback, and he outraced him. And I'm talking about separated as that thing got longer. Well, looking down in the stands, people right in front of me looking back at me and shaking their heads like, wow.
One play, 83 yards in 9 seconds. 9 seconds to pay dirt for Peyton Price.
Think about that. He covered 83 yards
in 9 seconds.
In 9 seconds.
He was flying.
Wearing uniform, the pads, carrying a football, and running for his dear life. Wow. This is a big-time explosion there to start the 4th quarter. Here comes Micah Johnson. Kickoff, high and deep. Nesbitt at about the 3. Looks for a wall, 10, 15. Runs into Hanson, gets away, fumbles the football, and Hanson recovers for Robert E. Lee. There's a flag down. Lee has recovered. Now we got to check the flag. That is a tremendous play, and it might have been a face mask call that created the turnover. If that's the case, then of course Mesquite would get the football back. That Justin Hanson stripped the ball away, number 22, and it all depends on now what the flag is. Andy Dunklin, the official, the referee, Tyler Lone Star chapter, holding against Mesquite, and that will, of course, be declined, and Robert Elise right there on the Mesquite doorstep again. That's a huge play to strip it, to recover it, and stay in bounds all at the same time.
He took it right away from the running back, number 22. That time for the Skeeters, Tony Young just lost the ball.
What did I tell you? Turnovers are contagious. First down lead. Tyrone around. Nope, this is Jason Williams. Breaks a tackle. Breaks another. Down to the 20, inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. And Plummer and Jackson were there, the defensive backs from Mesquite. 11:20 to go in the 4th quarter, and this one could get ugly. 41-13, Robert E. Lee, and they've got 2nd down and 5.
Well, just keeping his legs going. Jason Williams fights through 2 or 3 would-be tacklers, and he was hit behind the line of scrimmage and pushed forward for a nice 5-6 yard gain on 1st down.
Well, his crowd is still trying to settle down from the 83-yard touchdown romp from Peyton Price. One setback with Price and T.Y. on the wing. Weak back Tyrone can't get outside. Now he does. Nope, no, he does not. Darryl Towns is a heck of a player. He takes some shots to the ribs as he goes out of bounds. And, hey, 43 can kind of play a little football, can't he?
Yeah, he's very, very quick off the line of scrimmage. He shoots the gaps, too. He does a great job as a lead player down there.
There's a Robert E. Lee player down, and that is Culp. That is, again, the right guard, Brian Culp, the senior, 6'1", 273. And his brother, Steven, is a part of the TCU football program, good friend of Craig's. Craig, you get to kind of stay in touch with he and those other big uglies like Lance Lusk and company, don't you?
Well, yeah, I try to as much as possible. Lance Lusk I talk to quite a bit. I mean, but with their football schedule and, I mean, just all the football scheduling and practice and stuff like that, you just keep in touch as much as you can, but you can as much as you'd probably like to.
Hey, Peyton Price and Tyrone Ross with that long run from Peyton is now both over 100 yards. Tyrone has 14 carries. He's back under 1,000 yards for 101 yards. And Peyton Price has 109 yards on 8 carries. He is averaging well over 10 yards per carry. He has 725 yards. I'll do the little timeout Robert E. Lee after the Culp injury, by the way. 725 yards, 59 carries. Math problem here. That's 12 yards a pop.
He's a fullback. He's a fullback, and he's been doing it all year long with the misdirection plays and the quick trap belly blast plays. He's very impressive. He's got such great wheels. We saw that last year, late in the season, when he scored a couple touchdowns against John Tyler in the season.
But he's bulked up. He's got so much more physical.
Great legs.
10:40 to go. Robert E. Lee after the T.Y. lost 3. Josh Hill rolls to his left. Wants to go deep in the end zone to Simpson, incomplete. It was behind him, coverage by Jacoby Thompson. He was not able to lead, and I think one of the reasons he was not able to lead that time, Walter, on the pattern, Randy, was his head kind of roll away from the pocket and roll and throw against his body, and that's hard to do. And I think they're going to bring in Cole here to attempt another long field goal of what would be 39 yards. And I'm a big, I know you'd rather score touchdowns, but I'm a big believer that if you get field goals in, whether it's a blowout game or not, you're going to have to kick field goals in the postseason at critical times. And Cole has had himself a heck of a day. 23-yarder, then he drilled the 45-yarder. This will be when they do snap it, a 39-yard attempt with Preston Hill, quarterback, notices the play clock is down, and he calls a timeout. We're back in 30 seconds, 41-13. Robert E. Lee with 10:34 to go, fourth quarter.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let it go.
The new DQ Latte frozen blended coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
Man, are we going to take every lap full speed?
Yeah!
Are we going to trade paint without fear?
Yeah!
Are we going to brush our hair 100 times a day and condition after every shampoo and choose the right hair color to match our skin tone? Tim?
Terry, I'm an autumn.
I'm a spring. Now let's go out there and win one!
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Represent your team like never before. On the field, on the court, it's all in our store. The spirit of your team, the season of your dreams. Looking for the victory, we've got what you need. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics.
Robert E. Lee calls a timeout. Preston Hill is the holder, also the backup quarterback, and he will kneel at the 29-yard line. And Cole Skates, who's 2 for 2 tonight, 16 of 18 in his career. And has now 8 field goals this season. That's a career high for a season. Here's the snap, here's the hold. The kick is on its way. And the kick is good. Like Cole Skates, he might want to keep that little hammer on the right hand that he has. 39-yard field goal, his third of the game, 44-13 lead back in 60 seconds.
In the game of life, there are no timeouts, only time wasted. The path you choose now determines your future. But where can you go to find a sense of purpose? There is a place where team spirit steps off the field and into the classroom, where no victory goes unnoticed, and there's no such thing as wasted time. That place is Tyler Junior College, living life in color, never black and white. Come to Tyler Junior College. We're changing the game. We're changing lives.
Here's a question. If you needed your insurance, who would you call? Not the name of the company, but the name of the person. You've got 2 seconds. Coming up blank, you may want to consider Allstate. You'd have a local agent you can count on, a licensed professional whose name you know, not just a number. You deserve a relationship with a real person.
For all your insurance needs, call the McIntyre Insurance Agency in the Albertson Shopping Center.
Education is a priority in Tyler. With new growth and increasing student enrollment, the Tyler Independent School District studied the condition of its facilities. Focusing on the most critical needs first, the district's Board of Trustees voted unanimously to call for a bond election for a portion of these needs. The election affecting the children of Tyler is November 2nd. Visit www.tylerisd.org and click on Bond 2004 or call 903-262-1064.
Cordero Mumphrey and the league coverage team trying to get ready to go downfield. Nesbitt and Jackson are back deep. I think no longer Jackson back deep. It is 84. That is Dominique Booker, I believe. One of the deep men, along with Nesbitt. And Jackson, or the fullback Harper, tailback in a way, the shotgun formation. We've seen Gamble a little bit, so I'm not sure exactly if Harper is out of the game right now. Here comes the kick from Micah Johnson, long strides. Kick, kind of a short kick that is picked up by Booker in the air at the 10, 15, 20. Nice little juke outside and hit from behind by, I bet it is Takarian Cuba. You know, it's Nick Mitchell. Nick Mitchell was there to make the stop from the backside. He missed him the first time and got him again. And Justin Hansen was also there for Robert E. Lee.
Robert E. Lee scores in 3 plays, 2 yards only on the drive, if you want to call it that. But they respond and get points off a turnover with a field goal, a 39-yarder from Cole Skates.
Tobias splits near side. In the slot, it is Helton. Antonio Brown far side. 4 receiver set for Mesquite, down 31. Ray Johnson in the pocket. Post pattern to Brown. Great coverage and nearly picked again by Micah Johnson, who is stride for stride with number 19. And Micah's kind of taken on that coverage man-to-man, one-on-one now, and has shut him down since that 4th down conversion.
And they're trying to go for the home run ball to get back in the ball game, or the Skeeters of Mesquite. It could have been an offensive pass interference, as Brown gave a little bit of a forearm shiver right as the ball passed overhead, but the pass was uncatchable a good 5 yards further downfield for either receiver or DB.
Uzel checks out. And again, remember a lot of those guys playing early this year in those games when they had to play the Lumpkins and Trinities. Johnson, quarterback draw. Colby Ray forces him outside, and he runs into a red swarm. Simmons there. Cuba. Nick McLean was there, and Bo Bambry is, Trevor Reed. Was it Trevor Reed? It was Bo Bambry as well, and a gain of about 2.
Lee's defense has been shut down in shutdown mode here in the second half.
Yes, they have.
2 big 4th down stops and another interception, the second pick off the night. Of course, on that play earlier was Micah Johnson with the interception, but they are not giving anything up to the Skeeters at the moment.
Ray Johnson has negative yards rushing in the second half after 86 in the first half. Shotgun formation, he rolls to the far side, quick pop, almost picked off and caught. Oh, man. Almost intercepted by Robert E. Lee. Justin Hansen, I think, almost got a pick. But the pass is caught. Was Antonio Brown. He gets a first down and a gain of 17 yards. That was almost the other way for Justin.
Well, we spoke a little too soon. Only the second first down of the second half for the Skeeters, as Lee made a great play. Justin was in position, the ball just a little bit over his head as he reached up.
Yeah, he just kind of he almost mistimed.
Laid it, and it was right behind him.
First down, Mesquite at their 41 with 9 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. Johnson runs the quarterback draw, now goes the other way, tries to turn the corner, and he gets around Hansen, and he's tripped out of bounds by Robert E. Lee's defense, and that was Preston Hill in the neighborhood, along with Simmons again, and he picked up 5 yards.
He does a great job of reading. He looks one way to the near side, and it's all bottled up with red shirts. He turns around and uses his speed to get back outside, just out past the outstretched arms of Justin Hansen, who does force him out of bounds along with Hill.
They take out Micah Johnson. They bring in Jeremy Moore, the junior, who now plays the cornerback position with Antonio Brown on that side. 47. Johnson, quick drop, throws, pass caught, dropped by Booker. Nice coverage. Quet Nicholson was there. Should have caught the pass. It's 3rd down and 5.
Lee's defense really puts a little bit of pressure, but it's a quick striker out to the near side of the field, and good coverage over here by Nicholson, man-to-man. He's a little gimpy acting here near midfield, right at midfield, holding his hands on his hips.
All right, we got to talk about this. There's a lot of time to go, 8:55 to go. You never know. 3rd down and 5, but Robert E. Lee is on the edge of making the playoffs for an 8th consecutive year. 3rd down, Johnson, quick drop, throws, pass, dropped again by 83, Ryan Kindred, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
His receivers bail him out, or actually don't do a good job of making catches right in their hands. Maybe it's the footsteps from Nicholson but the receiver should have made the catch. No offense to Johnson, he makes a nice strike.
Well, it's 2 straight drops. Booker should have had it, and then again, Kindred should have had it. Homecoming night for Robert E. Lee, and they're having a pretty big game now. Explosion with 24 second quarter points, 17 third quarter points, and they've come, as Randy, you've said, in bunches. Now Ortiz back into punt, takes the snap, no pressure, gets it off, and high, lazy punt that Tony Bush will have a fair catch at his 21. And Robert E. Lee will take over there, and I'm sure you'll see a lot of backups. Davenport in the game now, who started a week or 2 ago. And 85 Mason, 33-yard punt from Ortiz. And we got to start looking ahead a little bit. Brad Royal, who's come back after that knee injury to his left knee, and Preston Hill, the quarterback, D'Angelo Jones and John Williams, the wide receivers. And Randy, they will meet the winner of tonight's game between Garland and Rowlett. And it probably will be a flip home-and-home deal. Play either in Garland or here at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. Preston Hill to Brad Royal for not much there, as Lee's just going to try to work on the clock with 8.5 to go and up by 31 points. Same score as last week, 44-13.
How about that? Of course, it's not over with yet, but we'll probably see more of the backups in here now as Coach Owens and staff feel like it's under control. And what Lee will try to do next week, too, is finally get a road win on the season. And that's going to be very important if they have to go to H.B. Johnson Stadium in 2 weeks.
If they play Garland, it'll be Williams. It's
okay.
right on their campus, basically, and then it depends on what Rowlett wants to do. Here's a wing-back reverse, and Jason's turned the corner at the 25, puts his head into the cornerback and picks up about 7-8 yards in the first down. Jamarte Jackson again has made a bunch of stops, and it's at the 30, a couple of yards short, and a gain of 7 for Jason Williams.
He had 2 or 3 blockers in front of him. Of course, notably on this side of the field, he had Culp pushing out and made a nice clearing block on Keel, and he was able to get around him, but not the 2 other white-clad, maroon-helmeted Skeeters.
Preston Hill, the quarterback, who is a 6'1", 180-pound junior, played safety at times tonight, has thrown for 1,311 yards in his career. Bobbles the snap, gives it to Jason Williams, and he nudges very near a first down. I think he has it just outside the 32, and he does have a first down. Gain of about 2.5, and Robert E. Lee now well over 200 yards rushing. They have 245 yards rushing and 121 yards passing, so nearing that 400 mark again.
You know, we mentioned their defensive play. By my count, they've only allowed 54 yards to the Skeeters here in the second half, where they gave up 187 in the first half.
First down. Again, bobbled the snap. Jason Williams gets a little face gear right in his chest. Darrell Towns was right there. You know, we've seen the problems with the snaps, whether it's, see who's in the game at center right now, Blake Larman. When it's Larman and Preston Hill, remember when Preston came in against Lufkin, a couple of bobbled snaps. They got to get that down. 2nd and 13, now the lead band, the Southern Bells, the pep squad, the gentlemen, the cheerleaders get into the little, hey, look, here we go. Play clock gets down to 0, and Lee will be penalized 5 yards. Maybe they were also getting a little crunk. Is that word still allowed to be used? Craig Smoke on the sideline?
Yeah, crunk is still officially a good slang term to use.
Does that give me street cred?
I may give you a little bit of street cred.
All right, well, I don't know about a little bit. I need a lot more than a little bit, but who knows?
Out of touch.
As that's the kind of enthusiasm you like to see when somebody's blowing something out with 6:29 to go in the 4th quarter. Here's a flag here, and it's getting kind of sloppy. And that's the last thing that either Mike or Steve want. Coach Halpin from Mesquite and Mike Owens. The good news, though, for Mesquite tonight is the last we heard, it was 20-3, Longview leading North Mesquite. And that would give, I believe, Mesquite a playoff berth no matter what, because they own the head-up victory against North Mesquite 34-19.
That'll match them up with a loser, more than likely, of the South Carlin-North Carlin game that's being played tonight back in the Metroplex.
Okay, again, the loser will play Longview. The winner will play Mesquite, and Rowlett and the Garland winner will play Robert E. Lee in Division I. Lee now with a bunch of penalties, and Jason Williams almost snuck through for a couple of yards, and that's about it. Daryl Towns, give that number 43. He and Keel. In the second, we haven't called the defensive line much in this game, but we have talked about Ewu, Keel, and Towns, Thompson, Plummer, and Jackson quite a bit, but that's not good news because those are your defensive back seven.
Yeah, and they're the ones on the majority of their tackles. And we saw the very same thing 2 weeks ago with North Mesquite and last week too with John Tyler, where your safety and linebackers are making 90% of the stops. And as you mentioned, that doesn't bode well at all.
Kerry, we're bringing you in here just after this play, so get ready now. Get your game face on, okay? Third down and a lot. Blitz, Preston Hill's in trouble, throws sideline, caught, Tyler Fleet, 25-30, and tripped up right there. And no, there's a late block at the end of that play. And it's a gain of about 11 yards. Preston did a great job of getting that thing off. Kerry, I've got the tailgate stuff ready.
Well, I'm glad.
You have not even been focused on the tailgate party between Sam Houston State and SFA tomorrow down in Nacogdoches. Lee's about to punt the football right now.
Well, I've been planning on it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks since we went to that game at SFA in southern Utah. We knew that game was coming up, and it's going to be a haymaker.
Of course, this is your son's school against David's alma mater tomorrow.
Yep, that's
so
right.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast.
Here's the ball. Josh, with the only time this year he's had a bad punt, and that thing's going to go about 12 yards. And it doesn't go 12 yards. That thing, I don't know what happened there.
That was tipped. That was tipped. They had a partial block on
about a 10-yard punt from Josh Hill, if that far. And that's going to hurt what has been a tremendous year in every punt that he's had. I don't know if that was almost block carries. You said it was?
Yeah, it was. Somebody got their fingertips on it.
All right, so Derek Farmer's not playing tomorrow night.
No, I understand.
Has a knee injury against Texas State. And then, of course, Dustin Long, the A&M transfer, has been throwing the ball over the place. Here's a draw play down to the 36-yard line for a gain of about 4. Sam Houston State carry as Robert Garman, a good buddy of ours from John Tyler, great kid. That was gambling for a gain of 4.
Yeah, Robert is like number 2 or 3 in the conference for kickoff returns, and he gets at least 5 to 10 carries a game at tailback.
And Sam Houston State offensively pretty explosive. SFA is a pretty good defense, but boy, we saw them tested against Southern Utah with that great receiver they had, quarterback. Here's the fade pattern. Overshoots the intended receiver, Jeremy Moore, that time, in coverage for Robert E. Lee on now 3rd and 5 at the Lee 35-yard line. 4 minutes to go, 44-13 Red Raiders.
Amidst all that, Mesquite has their third quarterback in the game, Cody Lanford. He's a junior. It looks like he'll be their promising starter next year. A little bit taller, athlete, and a pretty good arm there, but overthrows the intended receiver on the
Reggie Fish was a guy we saw 2 years ago was going to be their starting quarterback and hurt himself. Has been out all year long. And a backup quarterback was dismissed from the team, and that's why Dre Johnson has been a godsend. And here's a delay and a loss of about 8.
Justin Hansen.
Justin Hansen. McLean was there. And a lot of others, and a loss of, let's say, 7 yards back to the 42-yard line to the big fullback.
They just absolutely blew up the play. 3 or 4 red shirts there to make a nice push and just bury the running back 5 yards deep in the backfield.
I've got the Earl Campbell sausage, Earl's hot links, Satter's brisket.
You're going to make the smoky beans.
I'm going to make the Eric Horton beans. I mean, he ought to come over and help me do it tonight because, I mean, we've given him a free press box here tonight. He and Burley Lamb, thank God nobody knew he was here tonight. If ever was incomplete pass on 4th down and the lead defense is held again with a lot of backups, if everyone knew that Burley Lamb was in attendance, he'd never be able to leave the stadium. He's one of those guys that knows everybody, and sometimes I'm not sure that's a good thing.
And he asked for every score so far, too.
Yeah, so, and he's worried about the center. He's a big Rough Rider.
Yeah, big Rough Rider. And, of course, the Carlisle Indians being one of his old coaching haunts. Well,
Tatum, Spring Hill, 14-7. That's a final. So Tatum has beaten Spring Hill in a game we had 14-30. Keys will have all the scores tonight. And around 10:30, maybe a little bit later than that. Justin, we need to get a final on JT Rockwell. JT had cut the lead to 7. Here's Jason Williams, breaks it outside. Oh, breaks it outside and tripped up. He was about to go to the races. Donovan Plummer with a great shoestring tackle and a gain of 4 for Jason the Hammer Williams.
And it was a nice block, too, pulling from the far side of the field. Lee had 2 or 3 blockers out in front, and just as he makes his cut, Plummer reaches down and grabs him by the shoestrings. Nice run of 4 anyway.
Down to under 3 minutes to go here in this 44-13 Lee win. Preston Hill to Jason Williams. That's Brad Royal breaks the tackle, and Brad out near midfield and a gain of 6. Tackle made by Jamarte Jackson. Kerry, this we're going to do. I'm going home to start working on the beans, and and then I'm going to start working on the Sadler's brisket and much more.
What time are we leaving in the morning? That's the most important question.
7 a.m.
Oh, that's no big deal for me. I can handle that.
7 a.m. I don't know about Craig and Ricky though.
Well, we'll roll them out early. They can sleep in the back.
We'll be leaving. They'll be coming home. 3rd down and a yard as Royal gets 7 yards. Can't believe, Randy, you said that. That's unbelievable.
You said
3rd down and a yard.
You said
and a procedure call.
Oh, wow.
Boy, the influence of Eric Horton in the press box is a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
So what you're saying is you're going to start tonight, is what you're saying.
Yeah, we got to get those beans going.
He's getting primed.
Hey, this has been a blowout that at one point was kind of it was
24-13.
24-13, and Mesquite had scored on 2 consecutive drives, But the defense really hammers down in the second half, and the offense gets some big old plays. Here's Brad Royal, first down midfield in the Mesquite territory, and a gain of 12 yards to the 44 with 2 minutes and 2 seconds to go, and Lee keeps the drive going, and again, some key backups getting some great time right here.
I want to talk about the Lee defense. The backups in Lee defense. My son tells me that number 7 corner,
Jeremy Moore,
is one good athlete and a great prospect in the making. And Justin Hansen and Lance Heath,
Terry Cuba, you bet. They'll all be back.
They're all talented, and they're going to be strong on defense. They're pretty deep on defense, is what's good.
Rockwell beat John Tyner tonight, 21-14. This is Royal off right tackle, and guess who's there? Number 43 is going to make my all-district team. What do you think?
Yeah,
there's a lot of pretty good players, but he is well, look at him. Is he a load? And any guy that wraps a towel around his belt,
wiping his hands off.
That's the all-smoke team right there. I don't care. He's in.
He's been on a good dozen tackles or so tonight.
You think he gets second to the buffet line?
He's not that big, really, at 5'9", 180.
He is built.
190.
He could.
Show him at 5'7". There's no way he's taller than that.
If he wasn't playing safety, I bet he could play fullback very well. Minute 5 to go as Brad Royal lost a couple of yards there. Who would have thought we'd be doing this at the end of a Mesquite Robert E. Lee game? Here's the handoff to Royal again, and nothing there. Maybe got a half a yard loss. He's got 17 carries, or 17 yards on 5 carries.
Guys, we need to decide who the player of the game is.
Well, it can't be somebody who's already been named. Peyton Price could easily be thought of again.
Cuba or the defense.
I think you got to go with the sophomore's first start. I think you do too.
The interception is a key play in the game because at 10-0, he makes the pick, makes it 17-0. It gives Lee the distance that they've.
I tell you what we're going to do. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a special teams and to carry. I'll tell you what. Hold on. 22 seconds to go. We're also going to name co-players of the game. Takarian Cuba, huge play defensively, his first start, and Cole Skates kicks 3 field goals tonight.
Absolutely.
Which is a huge part of this game to give some separation, and we're down to 10. Robert E. Lee is in the playoffs, friends, for the 8th consecutive year. From 97 to 2004. It's Garland or Rowlett in a couple of weeks, but they still have Mesquite Horn to deal with, of course, next week at Hanby Stadium. We will have all the scores on our Friday night scoreboard show in just a moment. Craig Smoke, of course, will also get our post-game. So Cole Skates, since we didn't start this till about mid-year, Cole Skates and Takarian Cuba, Craig Smoke.
All right, Coach Owens, going into halftime, we were talking about their quarterback over there who's getting a lot of big runs, and you said you're going to have to make some defensive adjustments at halftime. It looks like your guys came out and did that.
Yeah, they did. They came out and played a lot more focused, not necessarily any more intensely because they were playing hard anyway, but they were focused on making plays, and to tell you the truth, they didn't run as much.
It looked like in the third quarter your offense was kind of getting out of sync a little bit, losing a little bit of the rhythm. And there were some big plays. Peyton Price went 83 yards. And how big of a play was that for your ball club?
Oh, that was big because that kind of put the icing on the cake right there. That just about ended it. So that was a great play for us because we certainly weren't doing it very well. They were playing real well defensively. I mean, I got to give some of the credit to them because they really were coming after us on defense, and they did a good job of it.
One of your best players on defense, I should say, Eric Ajiki, suffered the ankle injury last week against John Tyler and can no longer play the rest of the season. But Carrion Cuba, the sophomore, came in, had a huge interception in the first half. And just talk a little about the way the sophomore came in and played for you tonight.
They played great. I mean, what's funny is that now that he knows that he doesn't have a guy ahead of him, he stepped up and played better. I mean, in the past he was a little tentative or he would do something, overreact. Tonight he did a great job. He did everything he has to do because he's the man now.
Craig, ask him about the postseason.
You clinched the playoffs for yet another year. It seems it's been a while since y'all did not make the playoffs. One of your first years here probably. And just talk a little about what it means to make the postseason once again and what you're looking forward to.
Well, we've still got another game to play. I think, this win right here put us in, but we still want to go ahead and finish up on a winning note. So we're not going to worry about any of that until we play the Horn next week.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, Craig, great job with Mike Owens. Again, in the playoffs for an 8th consecutive year. Our players of the game to Carrion Cuba, and also, of course, Cole Skates. As Robert E. Lee has beaten Mesquite 44-13, and they're now 2-2 in the all-time series. And we'll come back and think of a couple other players as well to join Craig in the postgame as we continue on KTVB from Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium in Tyler.
Education is a priority in Tyler. With new growth and increasing student enrollment, the Tyler Independent School District studied the condition of its facilities. Focusing on the most critical needs first, the district's Board of Trustees voted unanimously to call for a bond election for a portion of these needs. The election affecting the children of Tyler is November 2nd. Visit www.tylerisd.org and click on Bond 2004 or call 903-262-1064.
Okay, we'd like you to try 2 frozen lattes. One is from a national chain of coffee shops, and the other is new from Dairy Queen.
This one's fantastic.
Looks like you chose the new DQ Latte. Great. Okay, you can give it back now.
Test is over. Let go.
The new DQ Latte frozen blended coffee, made with creamy DQ soft serve in 3 tempting flavors. Grab one and DQ something different.
Likes it a lot.
Men, I think our racing team needs to reflect our Supercut sponsorship. So, make some changes. First off, we're going to go to clear helmets so racing fans can see your fine Supercut hair.
Those are made out of glass.
Y'all be careful. Second, uniform change.
How are we supposed to drive? There's no armholes.
I haven't figured that one out yet, but we're working on that.
Man, I'm out of here.
Fellas,
you're out of your mind. That's not
where you going?
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Can you drive a stick?
To see this sign on your house, put this sign out front. Century 21 Advantage. Call or visit our website.
Thanks for watching High School Football. Presented by TISD and Cox Communications of Tyler. Brought to you by Dairy Queen and Supercuts. Also brought to you by these sponsors.
Car shopping can be stressful. With all the clutter out there, it's hard to tell what to buy. But at Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center, we believe that the simplest way is the best way. So we offer a large selection of quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, priced to sell with no hassles. Each vehicle has been through a 20-point inspection for quality assurance. You can shop in comfort under the awnings and check out our newly expanded lot with more inventory than ever before. Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center on the corner of Glenwood and Vine in Tyler.